What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
5MF. Chapter 76 Bankai. Campfire is two sword. Advertise here. Hoo. With this sweeping wind, the wind slowly dissipated. I only saw that the dense forest within a few kilometers of Luoan and Kaido had been razed to the ground. The ground is full of broken wooden branches. Sabo was hiding behind a boulder, only daring to watch Luoan and Kaido from a distance. The battle between these two powerhouses has been rare in the past few years. But obviously, Luoan and Kaido both glanced in Sabo's direction. Although they both discovered that Sabo was also on the island, they both turned a deaf ear to Sabo. In Kaido's eyes, a small character like Sabo is just like a building ant, which is not worth his look. At this time, in Kaido's eyes, there is only Luoan in front of him. Bounty Hunter Luoan, I heard about your kid's name a long time ago, and recently broke into Marine Headquarters Marineford alone, and was able to leave unharmed. It seems that I have some strength. Has played against Luoan for several rounds. Even Kaido, who has never been so arrogant, has realized that Luoan is not that simple at this time. Immediately afterwards, I only saw a cold color on Kaido's face. But this is not over yet. Laozi must kill you today. Vengeance for my subordinates. Boom. Kaido shook the ground with loud noises every time Kaido stepped out, but he suddenly jumped up, holding mace in both hands, and slammed at Luoan again. Luoan's eyes wrinkled slightly. Kaido's power is extremely powerful. Even if Luoan's physique is 2,000 times that of ordinary people, he still can't beat Kaido in strength. Kaido deserves to be called the strongest monster in the sea, land and air singles. At this time, he watched Kaido come back towards him, and smashed his head at him with a mace. Luoan didn't think too much. Hold Ryujin Jaka with both hands and go directly to the block. Boom. An extremely fierce air wave came out, and both Kaido and Luoan's faces were sunken by the air flow. Drink. Luoan's hands suddenly shook. Kaido's figure was directly shaken back by half a step. Next moment, can see Luoan holding Ryujin Jaka directly flashing past. What? Only a 4 or 70 blood stain appeared on Kaido's left waist, but this blood stain quickly recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye, and then left a fourth blood stain again. I only saw Kaido turn around directly. And with an arguing smile on his face, he looked at Luoan. Good boy, your knife is really fast. But if you want to defeat Laozi, it's not enough. The voice fell, but watching Kaido swing his mace at Luoan again. Go to hell. With every blow, there were cracks in the air, and Conqueror's Haki was wrapped around the mace. If you change to someone else, has been defeated by Kaido a long time ago. However, Luoan still raised a knife again, and the knife that was entwining Conqueror's Haki slammed directly against the mace. Boom. The two blades collided violently, and there was only an extremely deafening sound, just like a thunder in the night sky. Boom. Kaido smashed at Luoan one stick after another, and Luoan was always able to block it steadily with a flowing knife. Although the blades of the two collided in the air, each collision was a confrontation between Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki. Booming. The clouds in the sky had already split apart, and the two figures attacked and defended with a stick or a knife under the moonlight. Finally, they fought like this for more than 10 rounds. Yeah, but watching Kaido swept directly towards Luoan's abdomen at this time, Luoan's eyes narrowed. Ryujin Jaka was already standing in his abdomen. It's like the harsh sound of metal vibration. Sabo immediately covered his ears, as if even his eardrums were about to be pierced. Asshole. These two people are simply monsters. If you continue to fight, I'm afraid this island will be destroyed by them. Sabo said to himself. Boom. However, Luoan and Kaido are temporarily separated by 10 meters. The two sides have played against each other for more than a dozen rounds, and yet there is no winner or loser. Bounty Hunter Luoan, it's been a long time since no one can single me out to this point. If you don't kill you today to avenge Jack, then where will Laozi's face as the four emperors rest? So you'd better go to Laozi obediently. After hearing Kaido still think that Jack was killed by Luoan, Luoan simply didn't bother to explain it, and even said directly provocatively. Want to kill me, Kaido? Just relying on your strength alone is not enough. At this time, Kaido had "Why in his eyes, and suddenly anger appeared in his eyes. Am I not enough? Wow ha. Young people. Looks underestimated by you. Taste the power of Laozi's next form. The voice fell. However, Kaido's body suddenly swelled, his muscles swelled, and blue scales began to grow on his skin. Dragon form. As predicted, Kaido saw that his human form couldn't attack Luoan for a long time, so he directly displayed his dragon form. The dragon form is Kaido's strongest fighting stance, and its strength and speed have been greatly improved. And the defensive power and resilience are far beyond the ordinary human form. Finally, Kaido has quickly completed his transformation. Go to hell. What? The next moment, however, Kaido has disappeared at the speed of the naked eye. However, Luoan looked up to the sky and found that Kaido had already jumped into the air and was diving down towards him. With the tremendous power and the addition of gravity, the mace in Kaido's hand has accumulated endless power. Conqueror's Haki and Armament Haki are both wrapped around the mace. Jian San Shi Yin Na Luo. A black lightning flashed violently as if to split the air. At this time, the moonlight shone on Kaido, and Kaido was as terrifying as a devil. In the original comics, Kaido shattered the ground of the island with just this move. The power of this move has surpassed the thundering 8 trigrams. Go to hell. Being in the air, Kaido also shouted loudly. Even his body was flashing with black thunder and lightning, and Conqueror's Haki had already fully used it. And in the dragon state, Kaido's attack power has also been upgraded to a new level. Luo En stood still and felt the huge pressure coming from above, and he was about to traverse Ryujin Jaka in front of him. Everything is ashes. Ryujin Jaka. Suddenly, a huge flame rose from the blade. What? Kaido screamed, and he was already hammering at Luo En suddenly. Fire refusal. But seeing Ryujin Jaka in Luo En's hand suddenly shook, a violent explosion instantly rose up. Boom. Seeing Kaido holding his mace and smashing his head towards Luo En, a burst of flames had risen and it flew directly into Kaido. Bang bang bang. I only saw Kaido's body fly tens of meters away, standing on the ground stumblingly. Kaido in the form of a dragon, his strength has risen to a great level. Even Luo En consumed a lot of Reiatsu, so Kaido's move was forcibly blasted away. Even though Kaido has already been shaken off at this time. However, Kaido even got up directly from the ground. Although he looked a little bit ashamed, he didn't suffer much damage. Sure enough, Kaido's defense and resilience have been greatly improved in this dragon form. Shoot me flying with a single blow. Good boy. Is there still such an ability? Kaido looked at the burning saber in Luo En's hand, but he didn't seem to care at all. What about fire weapons? It's really a very rare thing. But so what? Can you kill me? His expression is still extremely arrogant and arrogant. Even though Luo En had left several scars on him during the previous battle, Kaido's expression was still extremely arrogant at this time. Relying on the immortal body with super defensive power and resilience. Kaido is quite arrogant. At this time, Luo En can't help but frown. Kaido's strength is indeed extremely powerful. In the form of the dragon, Kaido's power speed has been greatly improved. Sure enough, he is the pirate with the highest bounty at sea today. At least in Luo En's eyes, Kaido should be stronger than Marine Admiral. What's wrong? Bounty Hunter Luo En, are you just like that? Kaido smiled sharply. Boom. Then there was a sudden shock. Kaido's figure flickered, but he appeared behind Luo En and raised his mace. Go to hell. Luo En has already reacted. Hold Ryujin Jaka with both hands and step up again. Boom. After only hearing a loud noise, Kaido's extremely powerful force directly hammered Luo En's figure to the ground. Boom. Luo En's body has sunk into the ground half a meter deep, and Luo En still holds Ryujin Jaka with both hands to resist Kaido. ZZZ. Kaido pressed his hands down. There was already a trace of sweat on Luo En's forehead. Sure enough, it's just a pure competition for strength, even Luo En is not as good as Kaido. Fire resistance. Another burst of flame burst out suddenly, and Kaido's body was shocked directly by the burst of flame again. Luo En was able to crawl out of the ground in a sigh of relief. However, Kaido took another backhand blow, and his body flashed in front of Luo En. Boom. Luo En raised a knife to block. Feeling a huge force pounced, Luo En's figure also flew upside down hundreds of meters. Boom. Luo En fell on the ground and both feet exerted force again. Finally stabilized his figure. What a terrifying power. Luo En couldn't help but sigh inwardly with his eyes. Sabo in the distance said when he saw it, he secretly said badly. Oh my god. At this time, Kaido, a beast in the form of a dragon, was able to suppress Luo En just by relying on his strength. So this is the real strength of the 4 emperors. One-on-one the strongest creature in the world. Earlier, Luo En had left several scars on Kaido's body, but these scars were not fatal at all, and even the wounds gushing with blood, they can heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. Kaido's defensive power and resilience are too strong. At this time, I only saw that Kaido's face was still covered with a grinning grin. Bounty Hunter Luo En, I am invincible in the form of a dragon. Give my subordinate Jack his life. The voice fell. Kaido leapt towards Luo En again, waving his mace and carrying black lightning. Long Shongshan, seeing Kaido attack Luo En from top to bottom. However, Luo En actually issued a swift slash from bottom to top. Boom. The mace slammed heavily on the knife. And Luo En suddenly felt numb in his hands. Boom. With a loud noise, the ground under Luo En's feet directly sank. Drink. Luo En suddenly exerted force again, but his figure suddenly flashed out, holding Ryujin Jaka in his hand and slashed directly. Torch. Cloud time. The tornado-shaped flame rushed towards Kaido, but in an instant the tornado flame swallowed Kaido's body. What? Tornado-shaped flames swept past, only Kaido's screams were heard in the flames. And Luo En didn't let go of this excellent opportunity to attack, and immediately held Ryujin Jaka in his hand and slashed directly toward the air ahead. Cut. Even the flame seemed to vibrate. 0. With Luo En cut out. What? Kaido, who was engulfed by flames, roared in an instant. There was another splash of blood, but before the blood fell on the ground, the blood had completely evaporated. Hoo. Finally, the tornado flame has dissipated, revealing Kaido's figure again. I only saw that Kaido's body was already scorched, and even the scorched smell came from the flesh on his body, and there was a blood stain on his abdomen again. However, Luo-en still furrowed his brows deeply and did not relax at all. Because even though Kaido has suffered such a serious injury, the wound on his body is still healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Laozi is a dragon. Do you want to burn the dragon to death with flames? It's ridiculous. No one in this world can kill Laozi. Kaido's extremely low and arrogant voice came again. In this dragon form, Kaido's resilience has risen to a very terrifying level. In just a few breaths, Kaido's body has healed again, and even has recovered as before. What a terrifying resilience. Obviously, he has already suffered a powerful attack like Luo-en. But it doesn't seem to have been hurt at all. This is the strongest singles king on the sea. Sabo also looked at Kaido with lingering fear. Originally, he saw that Kaido had been chopped by Luo-en, and thought Kaido would be suppressed by Luo-en. However, at this time, Kaido actually used his body to resist Luo-en's fire attack, which is enough to show how powerful Kaido's defense and resilience are. Even Luo-en finds it a bit difficult. No doubt. Kaido should be the most difficult enemy Luo-en has encountered so far. With such a strong defense and resilience, even Luo-en feels a little headache. Boom. Kaido suddenly collapsed again, his figure jumped into the sky, and then he held mace in both hands, and there was endless black thunder on the mace. Take me one more trick. Jien-san Shi Yin Naruo. Go to hell. It is Kaido's strongest move in the dragon form. The endless black lightning tore the air, and the mace exuded a huge power, which was a blow at Luo-en. And this time, Luo-en still stood on the spot with a serious look, and at this time his face was already showing an extremely serious look. Holding Ryujin Jaka with both hands, his legs suddenly exerted force again, and his figure was already flashing in the air. Flying Imperial Sword Flow Profound Righteousness Ryujin Jaka Tianxiang Dragon Flash. Seeing Kaido falling from the sky, Luo-en rushed from the ground up to the sky. In an instant, only saw the mace collide with Ryujin Jaka again. Boom. With the violent collision of Conqueror's Haki, even the entire island had a steep shock in time, and even Sabo almost couldn't stand firm with his wings. And mid-air, Luo-en and Kaido were already suspended in the air. Their weapons still didn't touch each other directly, but they collided in the air. Zzz. The violent lightning has shaken the sky, and the endless flames are burning in midair like flames. What? However, Kaido made a sudden force once again. Boom. Just seeing Luo-en's body shape directly dive down like a cannonball, hitting the ground heavily. Boom. It takes time to smoke. Kaido also landed on the ground with an extremely stern smile. Kaido in the dragon state is too powerful. Luo-en can't beat Kaido at all if it is just a competition of strength. Finally, 2.6 The dust is dispersed. Luo-en's figure is exposed. Kaido hit the blow directly from the sky just now, and his internal organs were tumbling. Kaido saw Luo-en with a gray head and face. His face couldn't help showing a disdainful sarcasm again. Bounty hunter Luo-en, I said you can't kill me. Laozi is an invincible man. At this time, Luo-en knew that he could no longer continue to fight like this, otherwise he would only consume his energy and Reiatsu in vain. Immediately, his eyes looked way am I. Ryujin Jaka runs across in front of him in his hand. Hey, I said Kaido. It seems that you are very confident of your own strength. But what will happen to my next move? Just looking at the corners of Luo-en's mouth lifted up, revealing a sneer. And Kaido suddenly wrinkled slightly. What did you say? Bounty hunter Luo-en, do you have any killer copper that hasn't been displayed? There was a sudden panic in his heart. Then he settled down and rebuked. Do not. Absolutely impossible. I have completely suppressed you in the state of the dragon man. So you want to scare me? Laozi has an immortal body, you want to scare Laozi too. Smelly boy. Laozi is not scared. If you have the skills, kill Laozi. The words are still full of provocation. Luo-en's expression has become serious. Even his Reiatsu was completely released. Kaido. Actually, it's the first time even I use this next move. As the first person in the world to face this move. You should feel honored. The voice fell. Kaido couldn't help but feel amused and said. Ming ha 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 ha. Feel honored. Boy, what are you talking about? What about the new move? If there is a kind, come and kill me. Cloud time. But looking at Luo-en, his eyes were slightly narrowed, and the corners of his mouth showed a sorrowful smile. Bankai. Kenhuo Teidao. Chapter 77 Canfire 2 Sword. East Sunblade. Advertise here. The voice fell. All the flames on the blade of Ryujin Jaka had disappeared at this time. As if these flames were completely absorbed by the knife, the extremely high temperature of the flame was completely contained in the blade, and even white smoke began to appear on the blade. ZZ. A hot air wave spread from the blade. Kenhuo Teidao. East Sunburst Blade. Kanha Teidao has 4 skills, each named, Southeast, Northwest, and now Luo-en is casting East Sunblade. At this time, all the flame temperature had gathered on the tip of the residual fire tattoo, and the tip of the blade neither burned flames nor released explosions. But the extremely high temperature above the tip of Konwo tattoo was able to wipe out everything it touched without a trace. Just at this time, Kaido's observation Haki has already come to Luo-en, but at this time, under his detection, he feels unreasonably uneasy in his heart. Did the flame on the knife disappear? This too sword. It seems to be different. It seems to be much more dangerous than before. He said with a deep look in his eyes. Sabo in the distance also watched this scene. The flame has disappeared. In other words, all the flames are hidden in the blade. At this time, the power of this knife will definitely be even more terrifying. Luo-en, this guy. A hint of jealousy flashed in his eyes. Call. At this time, Luo-en was already looking at Wei Mi. This was the first time he used Ryujin Jaka Bankai's ability. Obviously, Bankai was still very immature. And his Reiatsu is consuming rapidly. However, the huge consumption was exchanged for the endless power of this blade 09. Kaido, aren't you claiming to be immortal? Taste my knife. The voice fell. Luo-en's figure flashed into the air. He was in the air, holding the Kanha Tachi in both hands, and rushed towards Kaido. His Reiatsu is being consumed quickly. Therefore, Luo-en decided to fight quickly. Seeing Luo-en suddenly come back toward him, Kaido immediately waved his mace. Dragon Thunder 8 trigrams. The thundering 8 trigrams in the form of the Dragon Man also waved at Luo-en boldly. Kaido is known as the immortal body. Even if he saw Luo-en perform new moves, although he was a little surprised, he would not be afraid now. Luo-en, you do it. Come and kill me if you have the ability. It was completely undaunted. The thunderous 8 trigrams in the form of dragons are naturally stronger than the thunderous 8 trigrams in human form. At this time, his mace is already shining with extremely strong black thunder. What? Kaido roared. The mace had already been smashed at the cannibalism fiercely. But at this time, however, a sharp look flashed in Luo-en's eyes. Kang. The two weapons have violently collided. But almost for a moment. What? Kaido's eyes widened suddenly. Sabo in the distance couldn't help being shocked instantly. At this time, taste. Only a click was heard. I could see the cracks in the mace held by Kaido in both hands in an instant. Next moment, boom. There was only a loud noise. The entire mace exploded directly. Even Luo-en had already flew up right now, holding the residual fire sword and slashing towards Kaido's neck. Need time. Even Kaido felt a threat of death, only to see his pupils shrink suddenly, and his back felt a sudden chill. At this moment, he subconsciously leaned back as if from a biological instinct, trying to avoid Luo-en's slash. What? Luo-en's figure has flashed by, and then he has stood behind Kaido, his Reiatsu has been consumed hugely. Is also panting quickly, but in the meanwhile, an extremely shocking scene happened to Sabo. Puff. Kaido suddenly spouted blood. Thump. Then he knelt directly on the ground, the mace in his hand had broken to the ground. Not only that, only dong. The dragon's horn on Kaido's head fell directly to the ground. The dragon's horn was more than half a meter long, and the cross-section of the dragon's horn was scorched black. What? Puff. Cough cough cough. Another spurt of blood. It was obvious that Kaido's breath had weakened a lot, the dragon's horn was cut off, and Kaido's body suffered considerable damage. He panted with big mouths, and then turned and looked at Luo-en, a trace of fear flashed in his heart. If Luo-en's island hit his neck just now, then Kaido's head must have fallen down. Sabo's eyes widened as he watched this scene. What is this? Dragon horn. Kaido's dragon Kakuzu was chopped off. Dragon horns are the hardest part of Kaido's body. Even the dragon Kakuzu was chopped off. Sabo murmured to himself with lingering fear. If Luo-en hit Kaido with this knife, I'm afraid Kaido will be disabled even if he does not die. Luo-en's new move. It's outrageous. Reiatsu is like water. Luo-en's body is a container, and Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka is like a water pump. It was originally Zanpakuto's Shikai status, and the amount of water drawn was not too large. However, when Luo-en used Bankai, Ryujin Jaka turned on the power of the pump to its maximum, so he frantically pumped Reiatsu from his body. Just maintaining Bankai for less than a minute, Luo-en's Reiatsu has only less than half left. Hoo-ha hoo-ha. Luo-en was also panting heavily. Bankai is trading huge consumption in exchange for an increase in strength by several times. Just slashing out, it seems like it's going to drain me. He couldn't help but complain. Although Bankai can increase his strength several times, but at the same time the consumption is very huge. Luo-en knew he could not keep Bankai in this state for too long. Immediately, the Konwo Tattoo in his hand lifted again and pointed directly at Kaido again. Kaido, didn't you just keep clamoring for me to kill you? Then you can die for me. Words fall. As a killing intent filled the air, Luo-en's body suddenly jumped into the sky again, and the tip of Kanha Taito's knife exuded extremely hot temperature. Even if it is to maintain the state of the burning sword, Luo-en's physical strength and Reiatsu are quite exhausted. Asshole. This guy. So strong. Kaido was already injured at this time. Although he has recovered a little through just a few breaths, it is still not his peak state at this time. Now seeing Luo-en hacking towards himself again. The dragon horn has been cut off. The mace weapon in his hand was also shattered. Kaido already knew in his heart that he would never be able to take Luoen's move, and even a retreat had begun in his heart. In fact, Kaido is known as the immortal body. This was all because he relied on his extremely strong defensive power, and his body's resilience was even more amazing. It is precisely because of this that Kaido dared to cry but begged to die. But now, after Kaido personally experienced the knife of Luoen, a fear has filled Kaido's heart. Not good. This guy have the power to kill me. Laozi must not die here, Kaido said in secret. He already felt the threat of death. Fortunately, he had escaped Luoen's first cut, otherwise he would be in a different place now. What a terrifying slash. I am afraid that no one in this world can stop this knife. Kaido already felt the threat of death in his heart. The next moment. Go to hell, Kaido. Luoen has also jumped on top of Kaido's head, and the burning fire sword in his hand is slashing towards Kaido. Asshole. But after hearing a sudden anger from Kaido's mouth, his figure suddenly rushed towards the distance. And his stature suddenly began to transform into a blue dragon shape, and he rose into the air and tried to escape. Huh. The long knife in Luoen's hand has been smashed. It's almost between milliseconds. Kaido turned into a blue dragon with a look of horror and turned around, trying to avoid Luoen's knife. However, Konwo Taito's blade still scratched Kaido's abdomen. 470. Roar. The Qinglong cried out sadly. Only a half-meter-long black coke-like scar appeared on the abdomen where the abdomen was cut open by the overhanging knife, and even the flesh and blood were directly evaporated by the extremely high temperature. But at this time, where does Qinglong dare to stay? Even with the intense pain on his body, Qinglong still endured the severe pain and flew into the sky suddenly. Just in the blink of an eye, this blue dragon had already reached the clouds in the sky, and fled towards the distance without looking back. Luoen originally wanted to use Susanoo to chase, but at this time his Reiatsu and stamina had been consumed too much. The physical strength and Reiatsu consumed by Bankai at one time exceeded the previous battle at Marineford for so long. To know, after all, the aftermath of Bankai's Canfire Taito, but possesses the power to kill Kaido in a single blow. If Kaido didn't avoid Luoen's knife attack just now, then Kaido would not only drop one of his dragon horns, but Kaido's head. Soon, Kaido's figure in the sky has disappeared. Luoen immediately turned Bankai away, and Zanpakuto's crazy consumption of Reiatsu finally stopped. Call. He sits directly on the ground. Kaido deserves to be known as the strongest in Heads Up, and his defense and resilience are really amazing. And relying on the immortal body to cry everywhere but beg for death. But after today's battle with Luoen, I'm afraid Kaido will no longer dare to say, but please die. Sabo saw it in the distance. His heart was completely filled with fear. What? Kaido, the beast known as the immortal body, will he run away? Even if Kaido once broke into Marine headquarters alone, relying on his immortality, he will never escape. But today Kaido is facing Luoen. He chose to escape. Is it because Kaido, who claims to be unkillable, feels the threat of death? At the same time, a bird happened to witness what happened on the island. Then he flew towards the distance. Chapter 78 The Man Between Black and White. Advertise here. 3 days later, a news that was enough to shake the world spread quickly across the sea. Luoen appeared. New world uninhabited island. All the beasts Kaido flees. The world singles out the strongest man, Luoen. Shake the world. All the beasts Kaido fled in embarrassment. The location of the island where Luoen is located has been spread over the sea, and the news that Kaido, one of the 4 emperors, was defeated by Luoen's men has spread over the sea. New world, Cake Island. IWC. Charlotte Linlin was lying in the secret room. There were many cakes and desserts in front of her, and her saliva flowed all over the floor. Katakuri stood in front of her respectfully. Mother. That's how it is. Kaido was cut off by Luoen's dragon horns and fled. Now that the sea has already known this news, Charlotte Linlin picked up a cake and put it in her mouth again. Then there was a gloomy look in his eyes. Isn't Kaido Luoen's opponent? That fellow Luoen, is it so strong? Kaido is known as the strongest creature in singles. Once Charlotte Linlin and Kaido were members of Captain Rock's, Kaido's zone dragon fruit was given to him by Charlotte Linlin. So Charlotte Linlin can be said to know Kaido's strength very well. An extremely powerful defense. Extremely powerful resilience. Even if Kaido is so powerful, he will run away when facing Luoen. It is incredible. Report Mom. It seems that Luoen deserves our attention. Now that he has come to New World, no one knows what his purpose is. Heard these words, Charlotte Linlin can't help but nodded. Yes, even the kid Kaido was defeated by Luoen. It is indeed very noteworthy. Originally, she was still a little dismissive of Luoen. But now even Kaido is defeated. Even Charlotte Linlin had to start paying attention to Luoen. New world. On an island. Red hair pirates are in a cave on the island. Not only the redhead Shanks and others, but also Hawkeye Mihawk. At this moment, Ben Beckman was holding a newspaper in his hands, and his eyes couldn't help showing a serious look. Even Kaido, known as the immortal body, has been defeated. Is this man named Luoen really that strong? It's a pity that I didn't meet him in person at Marineford before. Ben Beckman couldn't help sighing. Shanks also said. Wow, ha 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 ha. Yes, it's a pity that I didn't see Luo N in Marineford before. Anyway, yes, is this Luo N really so strong? Even when you came out of retreat, you were still defeated by Luo N. At this time, Hawkeye's expression was unmoved. After all, if you lose, you lose. I only saw Mihawk nodded and said in response, Luo N, this guy. His swordsmanship has reached its peak. I am afraid that no matter how long I have been in retreat, my strength is far from his opponent. Mihawk also sighed. Since Marineford lost to Luo N for the second time, he has been deeply aware of the irreparable gap between himself and Luo N. This is not a level that can be achieved by means of retreat. Luo N's strength is simply not comparable to him. In other words, as long as Luo N is there, Yingyan will always be the second swordsman. Even Kaido, who is known as the immortal body, has been cut off the dragon's horns. And Luo N's position has been exposed. I am afraid that now Luo N has once again attracted the attention of various forces. Ben Beckman analyzed. Shanks also frowned, not knowing what he was thinking about. Then he slowly said in a deep voice. Unexpectedly. After the war on the top. It is not a pirate who makes a shock at sea, nor is it a marine. It turned out to be a bounty hunter. Dressrosa. Inside the palace city, Doflamingo and several cadres are in the hall. Howl, howl, whistle, whistle. Doflamingo looked at the newspaper on the table and couldn't help laughing wildly. It's really funny. Dover, I have already said that this man is very worthy of attention. Torapal standing beside him with a cane. Diamante also replied. Dover, you participated in the war on the top before, you should have seen Luo N with your own eyes at Marineford, right? At this time, Doflamingo couldn't help but smile with a yin pad. The Buddha howl the Buddha. Yes, I met Luo N before. That guy is terribly strong, even Admiral is not Luo N's opponent. Even one person can compete with Garp and Sengoku, the two old-time powerhouses. So even Kaido was defeated by him, it seems to be excusable. Fo Zhaolin, Xiao, screaming. Immediately afterwards. Torapal couldn't help saying, because of the incident of breaking into Marineford alone, Luo N has been wanted by Marine offering a reward of 3 billion, and now he has provoked Kaido, the pirate. Marine and the pirate. There is an irreconcilable contradiction between these two forces and Luo N. It's such a messy man. Heard these words. The other cadres also nodded in response. Yeah, Luo N is obviously a bounty hunter, but he and the Marine pirates are torn apart. This guy's current situation can be said to be enemies from all sides. The voice fell. Only Doflamingo's eyes flashed a cruel expression. Howl. A third-party force that neither belongs to the Marine nor the pirates, this man is truly standing in the middle of the black and white. But this man who is located between black and white, to what extent will he stir this world? How would those guys in the world government deal with him? I really look forward to it. Howl, whistle. Red line. Holy Land Mariajoy. Secret room. The look of 5 elders is extremely serious. Did you defeat Kaido, the beast? And settled on the island of New World? Even Marine has nothing to do with Kaido, but Luo N cut off Kaido's dragon horns and even made Kaido run away in embarrassment. Is this guy's actual strength already so strong? Never let this kind of man be in the world. What's more, he openly shielded his disciples before, and his disciples killed the world noble celestial dragons. The voice fell. The 5 old people nodded. Then the old man in a black suit said solemnly. Contact CP0 immediately. Now that we have news of Luo N. Never let him go. ... Naval Headquarters. G1 Headquarters. Since the war on the top, Marineford has all collapsed, and now Naval Headquarters has been replaced by New World G1 Headquarters. The General Staff Room. Ms. He couldn't help frowning. There was a report on her desk, and a Colonel Marine was standing at the desk. Report to the Chief of Staff. Crane Vice Admiral. This is the news for the time being. Please give instructions. Ms. He shook her head and couldn't help but said helplessly. Since Sengoku resigned, now Marine is fighting a battle between the Hawks represented by Akainu and the Doves represented by Aokiji, the marshals of the two factions. About Luo N. Wait until the position of the marshal is determined, let's talk about it. The colonel immediately bowed and saluted. Yes, Ms. Crane. Now Marine's internal system is undergoing a battle for marshals. Sengoku previously recommended Aokiji as the next marshal, but 5 elders recommended Akainu, who is an Iron Fist, as the next marshal. Originally Aokiji Kuzan was very lazy and casual about everything, but he didn't seem to want Akainu to be Marine's marshal. Therefore, the martial battle between the Marine Doves and the Hawks kicked off. Chapter 79 Kill the Star. The name of the Hunters Guild. Advertise here. New World. On an island, there is a pirate ship docked by the pier. That seems to be the Kadri pirate ship under the demon of Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors. I just saw a tall man landing on our island. Yeah, and I remember he entered the tavern. Several people on the shore discussed this. Immediately afterwards, another pirate ship came slowly to shore. The people around looked up, and their faces suddenly appeared astonished. What? Another pirate ship under Beast's pirates, one of the 4 emperors. It looks like the Mammoth. Is it Jack of Beasts Pirates? No. Look at the three people on the boat. The shore suddenly looked towards the pirate ship. It was discovered that the mammoth was not the Jack of Beasts Pirates as everyone had imagined. But when they saw the three people standing on the mammoth, everyone present looked terrified. What is this? These three men on the boat are so familiar. I remember. They were the apprentices of the bounty hunter Luo-en, and it was they who killed the celestial dragons, the world's noblemen. Right. If I remember correctly, the three of them are also bounty hunters, and they are also bounty criminals of the world government. God. Did they kill Jack? That's why the mammoth was snatched by them. The residents on the shore guessed so. But I still admire the Zoro trio in my heart. Finally, the mammoth has docked. The three Zoro landed. The local residents immediately gathered around. You are all apprentices of the bounty hunter Luo-en, right? I remember your names. They seem to be Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph. The latest news reports are all about you. Moreover, there has been news about Luo-en in the past few days. Your master Luo-en has defeated Kaido, who is known as the strongest singled out. Everyone shouted. Although the three Zoro are all wanted criminals from the world government, none of them seem to be afraid. Enough to be visible. These people also hate celestial dragons very much, so they can't help but feel a kind of affection for Zoro who killed celestial dragons. At this time, Johnny couldn't help but nodded and then responded with a smile. Since we are wanted by Marine, we can't be called bounty hunters either. So Master specially established a Hunters Guild. We are now members of the Hunters Guild. If we have to call us an identity, let's be called the Hunter. Johnny explained to everyone. Indeed it is. A bounty hunter is a type of person who hunts pirates for bounty and exchanges money with Marine. But now Zoro and the others are all wanted bounty. They can no longer exchange for bounty by hunting pirates, so they can no longer be called bounty hunters. Luo-en has created a Hunters Guild. So your current identity is called a hunter. What is a hunter? It seems to be a new job on the sea. Everyone was talking about it one after another. But at this time, Zoro and the others are looking seriously at the pirate ship on the other side, which is the Kadri pirate ship under the command of Big Mom. Excuse me, where are the Kadris under Big Mom? We came here after looking for this pirate. Zoro asked directly. The people present suddenly looked at each other. Oh my god, are you here to find the Kadris of the Big Mom pirate group? No wonder you came to this island. They have entered the tavern just now 473. Hear the words. Zoro nodded. Then he smiled at everyone. The hunter is the one who hunts lawlessly. So no matter what kind of identity the other party is. Neither the pirate nor the marine. Even celestial dragons of the world government are within our target range. The voice fell. The three Zoro walked towards the tavern on the street together, leaving only the faces of the people present with a look of consternation. What did Zoro mean? Hunter. Luo-en actually created a Hunters Guild. Even celestial dragons will be their target. Gosh. These guys are too crazy. Moreover, Zoro and the three of them seem to want to find the Kadris of the Big Mom pirate group. But it is obvious that Jack, the Kadri of Beasts Pirates, has been killed by them, and that's why they snatched this pirate ship. Everyone couldn't help looking at the backs of Zoro and the three of them with horror, eyes filled with incomparable horror. Inside the pub, a tall, fat man was sitting at the largest round table in the pub at this time. The man has a long nose and his black hair is tied in his hair with a hairpin. He was wearing a woolen jacket, a scarf with red and white stripes, and armor on his arms. Compared with his body, his head is very small. The man's name is Charlotte Snug. He is the minister of bombing of the Big Mom pirate group. One of the 4 stars of dessert. Because Big Mom Charlotte Linlin wants to eat the food of the Fishmen Island. So Snug's trip was ordered by Charlotte Linlin to go to the underwater world to occupy the Fishmen Island. In the original book, it is the dessert 4 stars, because Snug was defeated by Yoroj and he was expelled from the stars. At this time, Snug was sitting at the round table. But no one dared to approach the round table at all. Guru. Snug lifted his hip flask up to the sky and took a sip of wine, and then a female waiter finally presented a bowl of potato chips on the table. Master Snug, here are the potato chips you want. The waiter's expression was extremely frightened, and sweat dripped down from his forehead, as if he was afraid to offend the Kadri of the Big Mom pirate group. Snake glanced at the bowl of potato chips on the table first, then a look of doubt appeared in his eyes. Just a word came. The waiter suddenly frightened and trembles and said. Lord Snug, if there is any dissatisfaction, please bring it up. We will change it right away. Snug picked up a piece of fried potato and put it in his mouth, only chewed it twice before spit it out, still showing disgust on his face. Boom. Only seeing Snug slap the table up in anger, the whole round table was also slapped to pieces by his palm. Then he stood up directly. He was 6 or 7 meters tall, and he looked down at the waiter and scolded. Laozi just wanted to come to your pub for a snack. I didn't expect potato chips to be so terrible. You damn guys. It simply tarnishes the delicacy of potato chips. The people in the tavern were shocked and trembled all over when they saw it. Snug, one of the senior officials of one of the 4 stars of the Big Mom pirate group. The character is so cruel. It's just that the potato chips in the tavern are not delicious, so is this guy going to get angry? Know that we are a pub here, not a special fried food shop. When I came to the pub, I didn't say whether the wine was good or not, but I said that the potato chips in the pub were not delicious, this guy. Everyone was talking about it. Snug pulled out a katana directly from behind, and then pointed it directly at the waiter. What? Hurry up. The officers of the Big Mom pirate group are going to be angry. The customers in the tavern fled in a panic and did not dare to stay in the tavern anymore. Thump. The waiter turned pale with cold sweat on his forehead and knelt directly on the ground. The tone has become trembling. Snug. Master Snug. Please let me go. I'm just a part-time worker. Faced with Snug, who is offering a reward of 600 million Baileys and one of the general stars. The waiter even sat on the floor with limp legs because of fear, and his eyes were full of panic. Kang. The katana in Snug's hand was already raised in the air, and he directly said angrily. Damn it. Dare to tarnish the deliciousness of potato chips. It's not just that you are going to die, I will not let the chef boss in your store go. Just because the potato chips were not tasty, he raised a knife to kill, which is enough to show that Snug's character can be described as extremely cruel and violent. Facing such a fierce Snug, the waiter was already kneeling on the ground and shivering, her mind was filled with fear, and her mind was completely blank at this time. Go to hell. Snag raised the katana in his hand. He cut off to the waiter categorically. Help, help. What? The waiter yelled because of being overwhelmed, and even closed his eyes because of being overwhelmed. What? The katana cut through the air directly. And just now. Kang. Only a clear sound was heard. Snug's puzzled voice came again. The waiter realized that he was alive and not dead, so he slowly opened his eyes. At this time she only saw it. A man with short green hair stopped in front of her and blocked Snug's blow with a knife. Two people were standing beside the man, and the three of them were standing opposite Smoker. You go first. Zoro's voice fell. What? Thank you. Thank you. The waiter reacted and immediately got up and ran out of the tavern. At this time, Snug had already narrowed his eyes and looked at the Zoro trio. You three guys seem to be familiar. Are you the apprentice of the bounty hunter Luo En? The three of you who killed celestial dragons. Seeing Snug recognize their identities. Zoro's eyes sank and couldn't help but jokingly said. It seems that I still have some insight. One of the general stars of the BIGMOM pirate group, one of the four emperors. Snug. The voice fell. Snug raised the katana again. Asshole. You bounty hunters. Dare to appear in front of Laozi. Go to death for me. Immediately, armament hockey was already covered on the samurai sword, and then it slammed at the Zoro trio. Zoro's eyes wrinkled slightly. Holding the third generation, Ghost Toru and Yuzu suddenly moved on to the gear. Pin. With Zoro alone, he blocked Snug's attack. ZZZ. When the weapons of both sides collided, there was a sharp noise. Yo, Snug, we have fallen out with Marine now, so we can't be regarded as bounty hunters. Hunter, remember our identity and go to hell. Only stepping on your corpse can we quickly spread our name across the sea. If the Zoro trio want to become famous on the sea as soon as possible. No doubt, defeating the strong is one of the fastest ways. And those pirates who do a lot of evil have become Zoro's targets. Today, the four emperors level powerhouses are not opponents, but if it is the cadres under the four emperors, then Zoro and the others are naturally not afraid. Wow, ha 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 ha. Stepping on my body, make you famous at sea. It's really naive. Do you think you are Luo En? If he faced Luo En, Snug would definitely feel terrified. However, at this time, Snug's opponent is just Luo En's apprentice, there is nothing to be afraid of. Go to death for me. Immediately holding the samurai sword in both hands, the extremely powerful armament hockey was already wrapped around the blade. And directly swiped it horizontally towards Zoro's head. Big slash guillotine. And Johnny Joseph and the others didn't even do anything, only Zoro held two knives backhand to greet him. Ni Dao Lu 2 AJCG slash magic bear. Kang. Snug's katana directly slashed on Zoro's two knives, but Zoro's figure only retreated half a step, but still blocked the attack. But be aware, Johnny and Joseph hadn't even shot yet. It actually blocked Laozi's attack. Some strength, kid. Snug still didn't care about it. Now Johnny and Joseph are already surprised. Oh my god, after only practicing Master's top cheats for 4 or 5 days, Boss Zoro feels that his strength has improved a lot. And Zoro Boss only used 2 knives. It seems that we don't need to act against this Snug at all. The two looked at Zoro and Snug as if they were watching a play. When practicing the cheats given by Luo En, their bodies, such as strength and speed, will also be greatly improved accordingly. Obviously, although Zoro took a half step back when he confronted Snug, his strength did improve. And this time, Snug was already in anger. What are you saying? Dare to look down upon Laozi so much. Laozi is the highest cadre of the Big Mom pirate group. Go to hell. Swinging the knife again, slashed towards the three of them suddenly. Slash, split the mountain. Boom. I only saw a huge hole in the wall being shaken by the knife, and even the wall collapsed directly. By this time, the Zoro trio had already arrived on the street. Run. The apprentices of Luo En. Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph, the three of them have already fought with Snug, the highest cadre of the ant. Don't stay here anymore. Quick, run. Pedestrians on the street fled quickly but dared to watch from a distance. Step to step, the ruins of Snug came out of the tavern, and the three of Zoro were facing behind. Ha 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 ha. Does it scare away with just a single knife? How powerful do you think it can be? It seems that it's just a foreigner who was doing it. Snug sneered. However, the Zoro trio still didn't care, and even Johnny Joseph had walked aside. ZZZ. Zoro once again pulled out a text from his waist, and then bit the knife in his mouth. Boss Zoro is going to use 3 swords. Although Snug is offering only 600 million Baileys as a bounty, he is also one of the highest officials under the 4 emperors. If Zoro boss can challenge Snug alone, that also indicates that our strength has entered the ranks of second-rate or even first-rate powerhouses. Johnny and Joseph said excitedly. Although there is still a gap between the two of them and Zoro, the gap is not that big. After all, they all studied under Luo En alone, and they all practiced the cheats Luo En gave them. It is precisely because they want to test their strength, so Zoro took the initiative to single out Snug. But at this time, Snake watched Zoro put the saber in his mouth, and then spit out disdainfully. 3 swords flow. But what about this? Go to Laozi anyway. Luo En's apprentice. The plump body has suddenly jumped up, and the katana in both hands is at least 5 meters long, and it volleys towards Zoro. Slash. Hayate. This knife is extremely fast. Even if Snug's body was very large, the katana fell on Zoro's head almost instantly. 3 swords ghost slash. The voice fell. Zoro's figure also burst out towards Snug in an instant. Kang. Just listen to a crisp sound. A total of 4 weapons of the two also collided in midair. But at this time, Zoro never took a step back. Seeing Zoro directly blocked his attack again, Snake couldn't help but violent veins on his forehead. Asshole. Sure enough, it has become stronger. Laozi was careless. Drink. With a loud shout. Snug tried to shake Zoro into the air. However, at this time, Zoro also made a sudden effort. Boom. He directly blocked Snug's brute force, and he didn't even retreat half a minute. Snug suddenly drew his knife and slashed towards Zoro again. Zoro's 2-handed knives went up again. Chang chang. Snug changed a few more moves to attack Zoro in a horizontal and vertical slash. However, Zoro seemed to have seen through his moves a long time ago, and he blocked Snug's attack with great ease. Hoo. Snug stopped and gasped for breath. And look at Zoro. A trace of disdain flashed in Zoro's eyes. In contrast, it seems that Jack of Beasts Pirates is better than you. You are too weak, not to mention that Jack died under the siege of the Zoro trio. Jack's defense and resilience alone are far stronger than Snug. Jack deserves to be a pirate offering a reward of 1 billion Baileys. And Snug only 600 million Baileys. Set a verdict on top of one another. But at this time, hearing Zoro's words, Snug's eyes flashed with a tinge of shade. You said I was weak. Asshole. It's too bad to put Laozi in my eyes. The voice fell. Snug was already furious. Immediately he jumped up with the help of gravity, and then held the samurai sword high and slammed in the face. Try Laozi's strongest trick. Dazan desperate knife. Die me. This is the strongest attack Snug can perform. But Zoro smiled indifferently. I have already seen through your attack. Snug. 3 swords flow profound Qinglong Yin. Flowing water. Suddenly, however, Zoro's figure flashed by like a long dragon, and then fell behind Snag. 3 sabers were put into the scabbard one after another. Everyone present saw a scene that shocked them very much. Snag's eyes widened suddenly, and then his eyes contracted suddenly, and a huge mouth of blood appeared on his abdomen. Pump. A stream of blood spurted from his mouth. Kneeling on one knee with a plop, his complexion has become extremely miserable. Only dang. The samurai sword in his hand also fell directly to the ground. Woohoo. Snug used his hands to cover his bleeding abdomen, but found that he could not stop the flow of blood anyway, and he could even feel that his body was beginning to become weak. Damn. Just one shot. Can you beat Laozi? So this is the strength of Luo En apprentice. He raised his head and looked at Zoro, his eyes full of unwillingness. To know. In addition to Zoro, there are 2 other people who didn't do anything from start to finish. If the 3 of them attacked Snug together, I'm afraid Snug knew that he couldn't survive 3 rounds, he would be killed by them. So strong. Puff. Luo En's apprentice. What's your name? Snug spit out blood again. At this time, Zoro has taken the knife. Then he looked at him solemnly and said proudly. Zoro. They are Johnny and Joseph. Certainly. We are also Luo En's apprentices. Now they are all members of the Hunters Guild. The Zoro trio have always been proud of their status as Luo En apprentices. Good. Strong. It's me who lost. Puff. Plop. Only saw Snug spit out a mouthful of blood again, and then fell directly to the ground. The blood had already flowed to the ground. The stab wound on his abdomen could not stop bleeding, and his body was also destroyed by Zoro's armament haki. Immediately afterwards, Snug's neck crooked and he was completely dead. At this time, the people around are already shocked. Snug, one of the top officials of the Big Mom pirate group, was actually killed. It was just killed by Luo N's apprentice, and only one apprentice singled out with him. It's really horrible. Luo N's apprentices. The green algae-headed man who killed Snug just now was named Rorno Zoro, and the other two were named Johnny and Joseph. And they said they are a member of the Hunters Guild. Hunters Guild. Is it a power organization created by Luo N? Too frightening. Everyone around is talking about it. And the three Zoro knew very well in their hearts. Since today, their names and the name of the Hunters Guild are bound to shake the sea again. Chapter 80 Shake the Sea. Enemy with black and white. Advertise here. 3 days later, there was another big event about Luo N and Zoro, which once again swept the entire sea. Hunters Guild. A third-party force on the sea. The sword cuts the star. Luo N's apprentice. Zoro. Johnny. Joseph. According to news reports, the Hunters Guild is a third-party force created by Luo N. The nature of this guild is neither marine nor pirate. And pointed out that in this guild, there are only Luo N and Zoro as their masters and apprentices for people for the time being. But, even Luo N's apprentices were able to single-handedly kill the top cadres under the four emperors, so presumably, the news of Kaido's defeat before was absolutely true. Luo N and his apprentices shook the entire sea again. Red line. Holy Land Mariajoy. The look of 5 elders is still extremely serious. Hunters Guild. Luo N is actually preparing to form a force on its own, and it is also a third-party force that does not belong to marine nor a pirate. What exactly does he want to do? It seems that the reward of 3 billion Baileys is still too low to underestimate the guy Luo N. Several elders are discussing this. The old man in black couldn't help saying. CPO has gone to the New World uninhabited island to assassinate Luo N, we just need to wait for the news quietly. And now Luo N's apprentices have provoked a 4 emperors like Big Mom, plus Beasts pirates, then they are 2 4 emperors pirate groups. Maybe we don't need to do it, these pirates will solve Luo N. Luo N even dared to form a third-party force independent of marine and the pirates. There is no doubt that he has now become a target of public criticism. The other old men couldn't help nodding. It is true. The Hunters Guild does not belong to either the marine nor the pirates. It is clearly a third-party force independent of these two forces. Now that a third force has been formed in this world of marine and pirates, Luo N has naturally become the target of countless people. Not to mention, Luo N and his apprentices have provoked 2 4 emperors-level pirate groups, and now marine is in a battle for marshals. Therefore, the world government does not need to act rashly. They only need to watch the pirates quietly and see how they will retaliate against Luo N. New World, G1 Headquarters. The General Staff Room. Ms. He was sitting at her desk dealing with Marine's affairs, and she was already very busy at this time. Before Marine officially confirmed the position of Marshal, Marine's upper and lower affairs were arranged by Ms. He. But it is different from the past. Sengoku and Garp, both of whom had resigned in the office, were present. They both ate Wang Tian Senbei and sat on the sofa. Wow ha ha ha, little crane, now you realize how busy I was before. Sengoku took the Want Senbei and put it in his mouth and said with a smile. The end of the war on top of the distance. It's been about half a month. Today, Sengoku has been relieved of the important task of Marshal, his personality has become much more cheerful, and his speech is not as serious as before. Garp also responded. All right, Sengoku, we have no positions now. Marine's affairs don't need us to worry about. He seems to have come out of the incident of Ace's death. Just now. Dong dong dong. The door of the staff room opened. A Colonel Marine came to report. Report Ms. Crane. Mr. Garp, Mr. Sengoku. There is information about Luo N. He was about to hand over the information in his hand to Sengoku, but Sengoku grinned vigorously. Hey, before the position of Marshal Marine is confirmed. Now Marine's affairs are all handed over to Vice Admiral Crane. The Colonel showed an awkward look. Immediately, the information was placed on Vice Admiral's desk, and then he bowed and left the office. Wow ha 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 ha. Little Crane, hurry up and look at the information. Is it information about Luo N again? This guy doesn't mean to stop at all. Sengoku looked dismissive. Anyway, now that he has resigned from the position of Marshal, he doesn't need to shoulder so many responsibilities. Ms. He opened the information on the table and read it again. Luo N established a guild called Hunters in New World, and recently his apprentice also beheaded the generals of the Big Mom pirate group. Ms. He said so. Established a Hunters Guild. Sengoku couldn't help being a little surprised. What exactly does Luo N want to do? Garp directly complained. The courage of Luo N and his apprentices are really fat. We have publicly provoked Marine and world government before, and now we have provoked the 2 4 Emperors pirate group, Big Mom, one after another. Both black and white have been offended by them. That's why I established this third-party power. Hunters Guild. This name is so funny. Sengoku also resumed his serious look and responded. He even dared to create a force on his own, and now he is still in conflict with both black and white. This fellow Luo N has become a target of public criticism. But then again, it's also because he really has an incomparably powerful strength to dare to do this. Ms. Crane and Sengoku also nodded in agreement. Indeed it is. It is precisely because Luo-en has incomparably strong self-confidence and strength that he dared to create an organization guild on his own, and even fouled both black and white. Someone who can do this kind of thing. It's simply not an ordinary person. Garp continued to laugh again. Wow, ha ha ha, but I never thought of it. At the beginning, it was just East Blue's unknown bounty hunter, but now it has become the founder of an organization in New World. Luo-en na Luo-en. What purpose does this kid have? The voice fell. The three veteran-level figures present couldn't help but fall into contemplation. All right. Paused. Ms. He couldn't help saying. The matter about Luo-en does not need our attention for the time being. Wait until Marshal Marine is elected. I should also resign as Chief of Staff. This Marine business is too busy, and Ms. He can't bear such a huge pressure. I heard what Ms. He said. Garp and Sengoku couldn't help but laugh jokingly. Wow, ha 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 ha. Little Crane, I knew you wanted to resign too. Yeah, our older generation should have retired long ago. Grand Line Baldigo. Dorig had just heard of Sabo's report, and then he couldn't help but slowly said with a gloomy face. Luo-en actually subdued you with one move. Sure enough, this guy's strength is indeed as strong as the rumors. Hunter's Guild. The man Luo-en may change the pattern of the whole world. Sabo on the side also nodded. Mr. Dorag, I saw Luo-en defeat Kaido with my own eyes. Kaido is known as the heads-up king, but when facing Luo-en, his expression has also become scared. Obviously, Luo-en's strength may have surpassed most people in this world, and it is even said that Luo-en is the real heads-up king. Dorig frowned when he heard Sabo's words. Originally, they wanted to get Luo-en's help and let him join the revolutionary army to overthrow the world government. But now it's obvious. Luo-en has created the Hunters Guild, obviously he has his own intentions and goals. Well, alright, as long as we are not an enemy of Luo-en. Since Luo-en dares to openly establish his own organizational power, then it seems that he is not the same as us. It is true. The Revolutionary Army led by Dorag carried out activities underground and secretly, and the ultimate goal was to overthrow the rule of the world government. But Luo-en is different. Luo-en established his Hunters Guild in New World in an upright manner. It is not a sneaky action like the Revolutionary Army. The Hunters Guild of Luo-en and the Revolutionary Army led by Dorag. There is a huge gap between the two in nature. New World. Honeycomb. Blackbeard Teach was lying on a chair, looking very leisurely and at ease. Since acquiring the power of Whitebeard's shock fruit, Blackbeard has possessed extremely powerful power. Now Blackbeard's goal is to fill the vacancy of the Four Emperors, and temporarily become the new Four Emperors of New World. The ultimate goal is to become One Piece. At this time, Impel down Shiryu, the former guardian of Long Reign, walked towards Blackbeard. Hey, Teach, there is another big news at sea. That bounty hunter named Luo-en has another news. While talking, Shiryu handed Blackbeard a newspaper. When hearing the name, Luo-en, Blackbeard's eyes couldn't help but show a sneer. Bounty hunter Luo-en, that 20-something spearhead boy. Fortunately, I didn't meet this guy at Marineford before. It is said that his strength is really terrifying. But now I have fully mastered the ability of both shock fruit and dark fruit, so even in the face of Luo-en Laozi, I still have the power to fight. Thief, ha 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 ha. Blackbeard's expression became more arrogant. On top of the war. No doubt, Blackbeard was the biggest winner. Not only did he take away the big pirates on the 6th floor of Impel Down, he also gained the ability of Whitebeard to destroy the world's shock fruit. That's why he is so arrogant and arrogant. Immediately afterwards, Blackbeard has finished reading this newspaper. Then he said sideways. Hunters Guild. Did this guy Luo-en create a new organization? But he is such an idiot. To create a new organization in New World with fairness, the pirates and marine, both black and white, are not pleased. Obviously he has become a target. Not only the world government may act on him, Charlotte and Kaido, the two Four Emperors pirate groups, will definitely not let him go. Young people don't know how to curb their edge. It's so stupid that it's hopelessly stupid. Blackbeard even directly called Luo-en an idiot. Shiryu also agreed. Enemy with black and white, he is indeed an idiot. However, it is said that Luo-en's swordsmanship is very powerful. It has long been heard that the world's #1 swordsman was defeated by him. I really want to fight him once. New World. Red Hair Pirates. Shanks and Ben Beckman and other cadres all sat in a group. Luo-en, this kid. It turns out that I have been guilty with both Marine and the pirates, and I admire him more and more for his courage and boldness. Zero. Look for flowers. It deserves to be a man who dared to break into Marineford alone in the top war. Shanks was full of joy. Ben Beckman analyzed. Not just Luo-en na. It seems that Luo-en's apprentices have also inherited his chaotic character. His apprentices dare to provoke the Big Mom pirate group. This is undoubtedly establishing enemies for Luo-en's Hunter Guild. Moreover, Luo-en has already provoked Beast's pirates, and now he is facing the Big Mom pirates. 2 Four Emperors level pirate groups, I am afraid they will not let Luo-en go. Other cadres also joked. Sure enough, it's a messy guy. Like him, he created a third-party force on his own, and this third-party force is in conflict with the marine pirates. If Luo-en wants to successfully develop and expand this Hunters Guild, it really requires extremely strong courage and strength. At least in comparison, Luo-en is more courageous than the Leather M army. Everyone present was red hair pirates cadres and big pirates above, and they were all amazed at Luo-en's actions. At this time, Ben Beckman couldn't help but lower his head and meditate. Hunters Guild. Why did Luo-en create such a guild? Even Ben Beckman, who claims to have the highest IQ, can only speculate about Luo-en's purpose secretly in his heart at this time. Shanks laughed loudly. Ha 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 ha. Don't think too much. After all, Luo-en's matter has nothing to do with us temporarily. It should be the world government and marine, or even Charlotte Linlin and Kaido, who should be anxious. Come and drink. An uninhabited island in New World. A tall man with blonde hair, earmuffs and military uniform was in the basement at this time. He is known as the heir of the devil, Douglas Bullet, and was once a crew member of Roger, the One Piece King. The strength is extremely powerful. Originally a major criminal on the 6th floor of Impel Down, after Blackbeard made a noise on Impel Down, Bullet also escaped from Impel Down and came to this uninhabited island. At this time, there are many newspapers on the table in the basement. The newspapers are all about Luo-en's news in the past few months. The world's first swordsman, Hawkeye, defeated East Blue bounty hunter Luo-en. Entrepreneur Marineford, the strongest bounty hunter Luo-en. One-on-one, Kaido, the king of beasts, escapes. Luo-en of the uninhabited island of New World. Establishment of the Hunters Guild. The third force on the sea created by Luo-en. Bounty hunter Luo-en. Isn't Kaido, one of the 4 emperors, his opponent? Then I have to start by killing him to prove that I am the strongest person in the world who surpassed Roger. I am the strongest One Piece in the world. Woo ha 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 ha. Bullet murmured to himself, a fierce look appeared in the corner of his eyes. In order to prove that he is the strongest man in the world, Bullet has been exercising in the prison day and night, even if he has been in prison. Bullet after being released from prison. His strength has already surpassed that year. Both the physical fitness and the degree of development of the fruits have reached a very terrifying point. Cake Island. The secret room at this time. Kata Cooley still stood in front of the ant. Charlotte Linlin has sat up, and her expression has been filled with yin-yang and anger. Luo-en's apprentice. Zoro. Johnny. Joseph. I already remember these 3 guys. Dare to kill Snug, so I can't eat the desserts of the Fishman Island, these 3 stinky boys. I must find the opportunity to solve the 3 of them personally. Charlotte Linlin is more sensible. Her goal was directly set on the Zoro trio, at least so that she didn't need to face Luo-en. At this time, Kata Curry couldn't help saying, Mother. The 3 apprentices of Luo-en are also very powerful. Now there is an irreconcilable contradiction between our pirate group and Luo-en. And Kaido was just defeated by Luo-en a few days ago, so he hates Luo-en very much. In that case, I recommend joining forces with Beast's pirates. After hearing these words, a thoughtful look flashed in Charlotte Linlin's eyes. Yes, my child Kata Curry, what you said makes sense. The kid Kaido has already lost to Luo-en, presumably he wants revenge very much too. If our Big Mom Pirates team cooperates with Beast's pirates, then even dealing with Luo-en will not be a problem. Kata Cooley immediately replied, Yes, mother, you and Kaido knew each other. Now there is another common enemy, the Hunter Guild created by Luo-en. If the 4 emperors form an alliance and cooperate, then it will surely be able to eliminate the Hunters Guild. Not only can you kill Luo-en's apprentices, you can even join forces to kill Luo-en. Already heard here. There was a sorrowful smile on Charlotte Linlin's face. I haven't contacted Kaido for decades. But he will definitely agree to cooperate. Kata Curry, bring me the phone bug. I want to contact Kaido. This kid still owes me a favor. Deficit. Chapter 81 5 Elders Strategy. The Admiral battle is over. Advertise here. New World Hunting Island. Inside the wooden house. The wooden house had collapsed during the battle with Kaido, and it took Luo-en a few days to rebuild the wooden house. At this moment he was lying on the bed with a newspaper in his hand. He couldn't help but praised. Not bad. By killing the general stars of the Big Mom pirate group to increase visibility, and even spread the reputation of the Hunters Guild. Very thoughtful, as expected of my apprentice. Luo-en sincerely agrees with Zoro's approach. It is the quickest way to improve your reputation by defeating the strong. What provokes the Big Mom pirates? What has exposed its Hunters Guild to the public eye and has become a target of public criticism? What is the enemy of black and white? Luo-en doesn't care about these problems at all. Although Luo-en is afraid of trouble. But it doesn't mean that he is afraid of things. How about provoking the Big Mom pirates? How about becoming the target of the public? Thinking in my heart, suddenly, Luo-en couldn't help but frown slightly. Then he got up and walked outside the house. Crunch. Push open the wooden door. Then he raised his head and looked towards the distant sky and muttered, Did you find the door so soon? At this time in the sky, there are actually 2 vigorous figures in 473, flying towards Luo-en on the moonwalk, and the speed is not slow. Step to step. Following the 2 steps in the air several times, the 2 figures approached quickly and finally landed in front of Luo-en. Mr. Luo-en, it seems that you have discovered us long ago. It deserves to be called the strongest bounty hunter. The speaker is Rob Lucci, and the one standing behind Rob Lucci is called Kaku. Luo-en, who is a traverser, recognized them at a glance. So he asked jokingly, Lucky, Kaku, what are the identities of the two of you? Sir 9. Quote. Still already joined CP0. Rob Lucci and Kaku glanced at each other, never expected Luo-en to recognize them both. The two of them have joined the CP0 organization. And since they were defeated by Straw Hat Luffy in the previous Enies lobby battle, they both took the initiative to assassinate Luo-en, wanting to assassinate Luo-en to atone for their crimes. The setting in this article is that Lucci and Kaku are both members of CP0, and their strength is stronger than CP9 in the original book. But the next moment, when I saw Rob Lucci cried out coldly. Do it. The words are over. Rob Lucci and Kaku killed Luo-en directly, and their bodies directly displayed the Devil Fruit ability. Just being in the air. Rob Lucci has turned into a cheetah in the form of an orc. Kaku also transformed into a giraffe in the form of an orc. By directly opening the Zone Fruit ability, the strength and speed of the two have been greatly improved. Face Luo-en. They dare not neglect the slightest. 6 styles, the biggest round. 6 King's Spear. Lucci had gathered all his powers on his fists, and used his strongest moves to blast towards Luo-en's abdomen. Tempest Kick Dragon broken. Kaku also displayed his strongest attack as soon as he shot, and his legs instantly displayed Tempest Kick Cut. When the two shots, they directly performed the strongest attack, which was to try to beat Luo-en unpreparedly when he was unprepared. This is CP0. It is our responsibility to complete the task. And the strengths of Rob Lucci and Kaku are stronger than they were in CP9. However, it is a pity. What they are facing is Luo-en. Seeing Rob Lucci and Kaku suddenly attacking him, Luo-en's expression could not help showing a hint of coldness. Want to kill me? He had already sensed the killing intent of Lucci and Kaku. Tianxiang Dragon flashes. Only saw Luo-en drew his knife with one hand. What? 2 blood spatters. Luo-en has inserted Ryujin Jaka into the scabbard again. At the same time, only seeing that Rob Lucci and Kaku had separated their bodies, their eyes were extremely frightened. I didn't even realize it before dying. Whether they were a sneak attack or an assassination, they couldn't beat their absolute strength at all. Plop, plop. The two corpses had fallen heavily on the ground in midair, and the eyes of the two heads were also full of incredulous looks at this time. Rob Lucci and Kaku, both members of CP0, were killed by Luo-en in a single shot, and Luo-en did not pose any threat at all. Seeing the two dead bodies of Lucci and Kaku, Luo-en couldn't help shook his head and joked with disdain. With the strategy of 5 elders, why did you send characters like Lucy and Kaku to assassinate me? If 5 elders really want to assassinate me, they will at least send the Admiral level powerhouses in CP0 to come. Paused. Luo-en murmured and analyzed again. I know that I have provoked Kaido and Big Mom, the 2 4 emperors, so 5 elders actually want to use the hands of the 2 4 emperors to eradicate me. It's no wonder that Lucci and Kaku were only sent to die, but the CP0 powerhouse was not completely dispatched. It is worthy of being the leader of the world government. Sure enough, some strategy. Obviously, the world government hasn't fought against Luo-en because it knows that Luo-en has provoked the 2 4 emperors pirate groups, Big Mom and Kaido. There will be a battle between Luo-en and these 2 4 emperors pirate groups. The so-called Snipe and Clam compete for the fisherman's profit. No matter which side of them wins, the result is very favorable for the world government. As expected of 5 elders. Even Luo-en can't help but praise. At the same time, New World, Islands, Punk Hazard. On this uninhabited island, at this time, there are 2 men wearing marine justice cloaks. These 2 are Admiral, Aokiji and Akainu. But at this time their marine cloaks seem to be broken. Hoo. The endless cold wind is blowing wantonly. The place where Kuzan is located is a land of ice and snow, and the place where Sakazuki is located is a sea of lava and fire. The 2 marine admirals stood opposite each other on this island. The reason why Kuzan and Sakazuki fought is simple, that is, they both want to become the new marine marshal. In order to compete for the position of marshal, the 2 decided to fight in Punk Hazard. Now, the battle has lasted for 10 days, and the stamina of Kuzan and Sakazuki has been almost exhausted. Hoo. Kuzan and Sakazuki were both panting with big mouths, their bodies were dusty and very embarrassed. Both of them are admiral from marine. Because they are evenly matched. So this battle also lasted for a long time, and now the 2 are almost exhausted. Sakazuki. Kuzan. The 2 shouted to each other. Then he gasped again and again. Hoo. Kuzan frowned and looked at Akainu. Sakazuki. Never let you become Marshal Marine. Otherwise, under your absolute justice, I am afraid that many innocent people will suffer as a result. Akainu also said in a deep voice without showing weakness. Kuzan. Is your lazy justice correct? What Marine needs is an iron fist, but not your kindness. Obviously Zero. Kuzan and Sakazuki disagree with Marine's concept of justice, and they both believe that each other's concept of justice is wrong. Paused. Akainu continued to say in a deep voice. Our 2 philosophies are completely different. In that case, let's decide the outcome. The winner becomes Marine Marshal, and the loser leaves Marine. How? Following Akainu's question, Aokiji also gritted his teeth and nodded and said. Good, it's so decided. I will never allow someone like you to become Marshal Marine. At this time, Kuzan's body had suffered various degrees of burns, and almost all of his neck, arms, and were burned by Akainu's magma. And Sakazuki's body is not safe, his neck and face have been damaged, and even the earlobe of his left ear is missing a piece of meat. After these 10 days of fighting, both of them were already suffering from very serious injuries, and they were only supported by perseverance and faith. Bring it on! Akainu yelled violently. The right hand has turned into lava and transformed into a huge lava fist, and the right arm has been raised high. Great eruption. A huge lava fist slammed at Aokiji. And Aokiji is not to be outdone. Super violent pheasant mouth. As the right hand stretched forward, an ice bird tens of meters long carried a huge impact and flew out quickly. Boom. Ice and fire collided. Just look at Akainu's great eruption, which directly evaporates the ice bird with a punch, and then rushes towards Aokiji with endless power. Boom. However, Aokiji's body was already flying upside down. However, Akainu raised his right fist again. Dark Hound. A punch hit Aokiji's difficult body. Aokiji, who was in the air, tried to dodge, but it was too late. Boom. Just listen to a bang. The Dark Hound of Akainu hit Aokiji's left leg severely. Need time. I saw that Aokiji's left leg was instantly swallowed by magma. What? Aokiji's face instantly turned pale, and cold sweat was already on his forehead, and 2.6 despair and unwillingness flashed in his eyes. Thump. He fell straight to the ground, his left leg was burnt completely by Akainu. At this time, Aokiji has finally realized. He was defeated. With the body that is very resistant to beatings, and the Devil Fruit ability, which is Logia's strongest attack. It was Akainu who narrowly won. At this time, Akainu was also standing there, panting and exhausted. He just looked at Aokiji lying on the ground. Step to step, Akainu walked towards Aokiji. Aokiji had no energy to resist at this time, and his physical strength was almost exhausted. Seeing Akainu walking towards him, Aokiji even closed his eyes. But, it seems to be thinking about the affection of former colleagues. Kuzan, remember to take off your marine cloak. Akainu sighed heavily at first, then turned and walked away. After all, he did not choose to kill Aokiji. Seeing Akainu's back slowly leave, Aokiji fell helplessly to the ground and couldn't help but sigh heavily. In fact, Akainu and Aokiji are almost equal in strength, so it took them 10 days and 10 nights to finally decide the winner. Even because of the 10 days and 10 nights of fighting between two people, the island of Punk Hazard has been turned into an ice and fire island with half ice and snow and half fire. Chapter 82 Hunting Heavenly Yaksha. Advertise here. 5 days later, Marine announced to the world. Sengoku stepped down as Marshal. After the battle between Akainu and Aokiji, Akainu became Marine Marshal, and Aokiji quit Marine. Today, only Kizaru is left in Marine's Admiral, and there is a gap in the position of Admiral, which represents Marine's highest combat power. It is urgent to obey the strong combat power of the arrangement to join Marine. The Vice Admiral and Alternate Admiral are not strong enough, and these Vice Admiral and even Alternate Admiral are not qualified for the position of Admiral. Therefore, Marine started the world conscription, recruiting powerful people from all over the world to fill the vacancy of Marine's highest combat force, Admiral. Holy Land Mariajoy. 5 elders sits in the secret room. Dong dong dong. An intelligence agent knocked on the door and came in. Then the intelligence officer bowed and said. Report 5 elders. CP0's Rob Lucci and Kaku have lost contact. It should have been an accident. Heard these words. The look of 5 elders is very calm. Okay, go out. Wait until the intelligence agent leaves the office. The 5 old men began to discuss again. It seems that it is unrealistic to send a spy to assassinate Luo En. Don't worry too much. Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates, the 2 4 Emperors Pirates seem to have established communication and contact. The targets of these 2 4 Emperors Pirate regiments are both Luo En. Maybe we don't need to do anything by the world government. These pirates can help us get rid of Luo En. Even if Luo En removes these 2 4 Emperors Pirate groups, it will be a great thing for our world government. There was a gloomy look on 5 elders' face. Then the old man in the black suit concluded. Moreover, Marine is currently conscripting the world and has no time to take care of Luo En's affairs for the time being. Anyway, no matter who between the 4 Emperors Pirates and Luo En wins in the end, it is our world government who wins in the end. So let's not act rashly for the time being, and recharge our energy and accumulate our strengths so as to remain unchanged and respond to changes. All the elders present nodded. They only need to wait to see the snipe and clam fight between the 4 Emperors Pirate Group and Luo En, and the fisherman named World Government must be the winner. New World Hunting Island. Since Luo En killed Rob Lucci and Kaku from CP0 a few days ago, his life has become more leisurely. I thought that Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, would come to attack the hunting island. But now it has been waiting for nearly half a month, but there is still no news of the Big Mom pirate group coming to attack the hunting island. Down with the sun's rays. At this time Luo En was lying on the wooden bed leisurely. The system clocks in. As I meditated in my heart. Congratulations to host for successfully signing in and punching in. Congratulations to host for gaining physique points. 32. Open black lens bracket current physique. 20,535 close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for getting Reiatsu points. 20. Current Reiatsu. 1350. Immediately afterwards, Luo N was also meditating in his heart. Open the properties panel. Open black lens bracket host. Luo N close black lens bracket. Age. 24 years old. Open black lens bracket physique. 20,535 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Reiatsu. 1350 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket weapon. Ryujin Jaka close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket pupil. Rinnegan close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket swordsmanship. Pinnacle close black lens bracket. Physique. Pinnacle. Conqueror's Haki. Peak. Open black lens bracket armament Haki. The peak close black lens bracket. Observation Haki. Peak. Open black lens bracket fruit. None close black lens bracket. After these days of system check in and clock in, Luo N's physique and Reiatsu have also improved a lot. Especially now that Luo N's Reiatsu has reached 1,350, which is an increase of 350 points compared to only 1,000 points half a month ago. Don't underestimate the 350 improvement, which means that Luo N can maintain Ryujin Jaka's self-solved state for a longer time, and Zanpakuto's power is also stronger. I don't know what happened to Zoro and them. These three guys. I really look forward to their performance in New World. Luo N muttered to himself, seeing that his strength is steadily improving. Presumably, their apprentices should have improved by leaps and bounds through the practice of cheats. New World, Dressrosa. A small canoe was already near the dock, and the three people standing on the boat were Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph. Finally docked. The Zoro trio dropped the boat first and then landed ashore. Johnny couldn't help saying, "Boss Zoro." Doflamingo obviously, as the 7 warlords of the sea affiliated to the world government, would actually engage in slave trade and various underground illegal transactions. I didn't expect it. Joseph also replied, Yeah, Boss Zoro. I suspect that the world government has long known his behavior, but it has always condoned him to do these illegal things. Wearing the coat of world government Shichibukai, but doing illegal activities. Zoro smiled sternly. It is for this reason. So today our goal is to hunt Heavenly Yaksha. If you kill a Shichibukai in New World, there will be news that will shake the world again. The three Zoro smiled at each other first, and then walked towards Dressrosa's town. Generally speaking, people who visit this country will be fascinated by several things. One is the charming fragrance of many flowers. The second is the aroma of the country's proud cuisine. The third is the tireless hot dance of the girls. The most critical fourth point is that there are dolls in this country who live with mankind. These dolls are like alive, fully integrated into this country, living together naturally with human beings. Dressrosa, known as the country of love, passion and toys. Lovers Avenue. This is the most famous and bustling street in the city, where you can see couples in love everywhere. What makes the Zoro trio feel most strange is that these couples on the street are not simply humans, but there are many dolls that live with humans. These dolls live with humans, and some dolls even talk about love with humans. Step to step, the three Zoro walked down the street. Johnny and Joseph couldn't help asking in surprise. Boss Zoro, living dolls and humans live together in harmony. This island is so strange. Zoro said disapprovingly. Don't worry about so much. Remember that the purpose of our trip is to hunt Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo. Other things have nothing to do with us. Johnny and Joseph also nodded and agreed. Okay, Zoro boss, but this country is too big. Where should we find Doflamingo? At this time, Zoro couldn't help but directly raised his head and looked at the center of the kingdom, then pointed to that position and said, No doubt, there is the highest point of the entire kingdom. 473. Doflamingo must be there. The place where Zoro's finger is called as the Highland of Kings. The King's Heights is located at the highest point of Dressrosa and is also the seat of the Palace of Dressrosa. Doflamingo and the top cadres live in King's Heights. The three of them walked in the direction of King's Heights together. At this time, some humans and dolls saw the three of them, and they couldn't help talking. These three of them are so familiar. If I remember correctly, these three are all apprentices of the bounty hunter Luo N, right? It was the three people who were publicly executed for killing celestial dragons. And they were later rescued from Marineford by their master Luo N. Yes. It's the three of them. Some time ago, it was they who killed the General Star Snug of the Big Mom pirate group. And their master Luo N also created a guild. What kind of hunters guild seems to be called? At this time, the humans and dolls present recognized Zoro and their identities. But someone asked, these three guys are all dangerous people. What do they come to Dressrosa for? Is it because Lord Doflamingo, the king of our kingdom? Maybe there is such a possibility. I heard that the three of them were trying to become famous at sea, so they killed the General Star Snug of the Big Mom pirate group. The king of our kingdom, Lord Doflamingo, is one of the Shichibukai belonging to the world government. 1. If they can defeat Lord Doflamingo, they must be able to step on the name of Lord Doflamingo again to shake the sea again. All the people present are analyzing like this. And Zoro and the others turned a blind eye to these people, and just walked in the direction of the King's Heights on their own. Chapter 83 Kadri. Kill in a flash. Advertise here. King's Heights. Palace City. Wearing a pink feather coat and cropped trousers, Doflamingo is sitting in the hall, holding a glass of red wine in a very leisurely posture. Doflamingo. One of 7 warlords of the sea. Known as the most dangerous man among 7 warlords of the sea. The strength is also extremely powerful. Da da da. With the sound of footsteps coming in from outside the gate, Doflamingo looked up and couldn't help but say. Howl, howl, howl. Toripal, what's the matter? After shaking the red wine glass, he drank all the red wine in the glass. Doflamingo smiled and looked at Toripal who came by. Da da da. Toripal came to Doflamingo, paused. He said with a faint smile. Dover Dover. According to the information from the Avenue of Lovers, Luo N's apprentices are walking towards the King's Heights. It seems that even our Don Quixote family has been targeted by the Hunters Guild. Ha 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 ha. The voice fell. Doflamingo's eyes couldn't help showing a touch of joking and didn't care. Oh, even I was targeted. Luo N didn't come in person, were they just Luo N's apprentices? It seems there is nothing to worry about. The Buddha howl the Buddha. Doflamingo naturally had sufficient confidence in his own strength, after hearing that only Luo N's apprentice came. He relaxed even more. Don't worry, Dover, I have sent cadres to find them. It's just 3 miscellaneous soldiers. There is nothing worth doing. Toripal said so. A gloomy chill flashed in Doflamingo's eyes. Buddha shao am I shao shao. You are staring at me. It's so funny. Howl, 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 whistle and whistle. About half an hour later, the 3 Zoro had left the Avenue of Lovers and arrived at the lowest level of King's Heights. The King's Heights is divided into 3 layers, the bottom layer, the middle layer, and the top layer. At this time, Zoro and the others are located at the lowest level of King's Heights. Boss Zoro, look at it, someone is blocking us in front. After Johnny and Joseph's reminder, Zoro couldn't help but frown and looked forward. Located at the lowest level are 3 ordinary cadres of the Don Quixote family, Dellinger, Fatmahabasi, and Helmet Male Gladius. The 3 ordinary cadres of the Don Quixote family have blocked the way of the 3 Zoro. In the distance, there are many local residents watching this scene from a distance. As the highest cadre of the Don Quixote family, they stopped in front of the Zoro trio. Sure enough, the Zoro trio want to go to the King's Heights. The goal of these trio is really Doflamingo-sama. Hunting Lord Doflamingo. What is their purpose? Finally, the Zoro trio and Dellinger trio are already close. Step to step, the 3 of Dellinger came directly in front of the 3 of Zoro. Then Dellinger couldn't help but said in a deep voice. You 3 are all apprentices of the bounty hunter Luo N, right? What do we do Dressrosa for? Also, King's Heights is not something you can get close to. Hurry up, just listen to the last violent drink. The 3 Zoro suddenly narrowed their eyes, and there was a hint of murder in their expressions. Even Johnny and Joseph had already held the hilt of the knife. All it takes is Zoro's order. Johnny Joseph and the 2 will immediately violently attack. Zoro said solemnly, are you all under Doflamingo? Where is Doflamingo? On the top here, right. Then he raised his head and looked at the uppermost layer of the King's Heights. Dellinger said solemnly, really, you are here to find young master. Without our consent, you will never be allowed to approach young master. Let's talk about what the young master who came to do first. Zoro replied bluntly, the 3 of us are hunters, so of course we are here to hunt him. The voice fell. The expressions of the 3 of Dellinger suddenly changed. Damn it, dare to keep an eye on the young master. Do it, Dellinger yelled suddenly, only seeing Gladius turning the device on his left arm, shot several gray stones directly at the Zoro trio, and the stones had already begun to expand when they were shot. Blasting. Boom. With a loud noise. It takes time for the smoke to fill. The local residents not far away were puzzled. The cadres of the Don Quixote family have taken action. Have you solved them? The 3 of Zoro are here to hunt Lord Doflamingo. Of course they will be besieged by the cadres. Just now. As the gunpowder dissipated, the Zoro trio appeared again. What? They are all right. As the cadres attack ineffective. The residents showed a look of consternation. Seeing Zoro's trio unscathed. Mahabas also immediately jumped into the sky. Boom boom 1,000 tons of destruction buys. He had already turned his body into a kiloton weight, and then suddenly pressed towards the Zoro trio. The Zoro 3 evaded in an instant. Boom. Mahabasi's figure has been heavily pressed on the ground, and a huge pit has been pressed out on the ground. When seeing the tricks of Gladius and Mahabas, Zoro couldn't help flashing a look of surprise in their eyes. The explosive ability of the helmet man just now, and the fat man used the weight of his body to crush the enemy. What a familiar fruit ability. I remember when I was in Alabasta before, that Mr. 5 was also an explosive-like ability. Miss Valentine also crushed the enemy by changing the weight of his body. The 3 of them commented. The 2 cadres Gladius and Mahabas in front of them, their abilities are particularly similar to those of Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. Gladius and Mr. 5 are both explosive-like abilities, and Mahabas and Miss Lover are both the ability to change body weight. Interesting. Zoro couldn't help but said in a deep voice, since they have already taken action, Johnny Joseph. The voice fell. The three Zoro have all pulled out their weapons. Dellinger led Gladius and Mahabe to face each other. The three of you, finally do you want to do it? Since I dare to stare at the young master's head, it seems that only three of you will be killed. Need time. The three of Dellinger fought with the three of Zoro. Decapitated high heels. Dellinger stretched out his right foot and kicked towards Zoro's neck, which was already his killer bronze. And Zoro just pulled out a knife. Dao Lu Dachen shake. The saber in his hand was cut diagonally from top to bottom. The blood spattered. But seeing Dellinger suddenly widened his eyes, and then turned his eyes white, his body was directly cut in half by Zoro. Blast the ball. Gladius shot several iron balls from his hand again, and the distance of the iron balls instantly expanded. There was a look of contempt in Johnny's eyes. Sword Stream Ear Harbor Bird. With the famous sword Sakura 10 in his hand, a slash wave had already struck Gladius. Boom. Slash wave directly divided those iron balls into two, and also directly killed Gladius. Slash wave passes through. Splash of blood. Puff. Gladius spat out a mouthful of blood. Thump. He fell directly on the ground, and no longer breathed. Mahabasi once again jumped into the air and performed his strongest moves. 10,000s of hell. Ton buys. His body had become the weight of 10,000 tons, and he slammed into Joseph on the ground. Go to hell. Mahabe roared. And Joseph still didn't care. Soryu Iya. Lion Song Song. Armament Haki had already wrapped around the body of the famous sword Withered Wood, and then held the handle of the sword in both hands and jumped directly to meet Mahabasi, who smashed into the sky. I only saw Joseph's figure passing by Shun Shan. It was also a splash of blood. Puff. Mahabe, who was still in the air, rushed with blood, and then his eyes suddenly turned pale, and his body fell directly from the sky. A half-meter deep incision had appeared in the abdomen, and the blood could not stop flowing all over the floor. Mahabasi was too dead to die. Need time. The faces of the onlookers were suddenly full of panic. What? My god. How is this possible? Luo N's three apprentices, all three of them actually killed the three of Dellinger in seconds. You know that Dellinger and the others are all cadres of the Donji River de family. They were all killed by the Zoro trio. How powerful are these three guys, Zoro? In any case, the people present did not expect it. The Zoro trio actually killed the three cadres of the Don Quixote family in a second. Right, it's a spike. This completely subverted their imagination. After all, in the eyes of local residents, the strength of these Don Quixote family cadres is very powerful. Immediately afterwards, the Zoro trio didn't procrastinate, and once again moved toward the top of the King's Heights. At this time, the people present were even more shocked. The apprentices of Luo N, Zoro, Johnny and Joseph 3. The goal of their hunt this time is really Lord Doflamingo. And it's already on the way to King's Heights. Chapter 84 Zoro 3 vs Doflamingo. Advertise here. Palace City. Doflamingo and Toripal are sitting and drinking. Suddenly a kingdom guard ran in. Young master. Young master. The big thing is not good. Dellinger, Gladius, Mahabath. The cadres at the bottom of the King's Heights were all killed by the Zoro trio. And the Zoro trio are heading towards King's Heights at this time. The voice fell. Toripal and Doflamingo frowned. Doflamingo's face showed a look of anger. They killed me, the cadre of Don Quixote family. So you are declaring war on Laozi. It's just Luo N's apprentice, but I dare to bully Laozi. The voice fell. Boom. Doflamingo immediately slapped the table and stood up and walked out of the palace. Step to step. Dover. Wait for me. Diamante and Pika have already gone. They can definitely solve these three guys. Although Toripal said so, he was still a little uneasy in his heart, so he left the palace with Doflamingo. At this time, the Zoro trio continued to run towards the highest level of King's Heights. Their goal was Doflamingo. Obviously, Doflamingo is at the top of the King's Heights. The trio's feet were not slow, and they soon reached the middle level of the King's Heights. Boss Zoro, look at it, with Johnny yelled. The three of them all stopped and looked forward, and two men appeared in front of them. The man on the left wears a fur-brimmed hat with two facial lines on his face and a red cloak, dressed like an indigenous tribe. It's called Diamante. The man on the right is wearing armor and a helmet with a cross-face protection on his head. Tall, wavy hair. Spades are tattooed on the shoulders. It's called Pika. Diamante and Pika are both the highest cadres of the Don Quixote family, and their strength far exceeds that of the Dellinger trio just now. These two guys look a little different. Johnny, Joseph. I will leave it to you two. Zoro shouted. Johnny Joseph immediately stopped in front of Diamante and Pika, and then said to Zoro. Boss Zoro, just put 10,000 hearts. You go to Doflamingo first. The two of us will be there soon. Seeing that Johnny Joseph and the two had drawn their swords, Zoro didn't say much, and ran towards the top of King's Heights again. At this time, both Diamante and Pika looked at Johnny Joseph and they were standing opposite each other. Let him go to Dover first. You will arrive later. It seems that the three of you are very confident. Do you think you still have a chance to meet Dover? The apprentices of Luo N. Diamante smiled slyly. Johnny couldn't help showing a look of disdain, and then drew out his sabers with Joseph. Are you the top cadre of 477 Don Quixote family? It doesn't seem to be the case. So you all go to die too. The voice fell. Johnny, Joseph and the two rushed towards Diamante and Pica. When Diamante and Pica saw this, they immediately rushed towards each other with a loud shout. ... King's Heights. Step to step, Zoro was just a few jumps, and soon came to the top of the King's Heights, and was about to run towards the palace city. Just at this time, Buddha shao 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 shao. As a cold laughter fell, Doflamingo and Toripal got up to Zoro. When I saw Zoro, a trace of disdain appeared in Doflamingo's eyes. Then Toripal also came forward to jokingly said. Only you came to the top of the King's Heights. Are the other two guys blocked by Diamante and Pica? Dover, it seems that this guy with a green algae head came here to die. Doflamingo's eyes also showed disdain. Buddha howls and howls. If I remember correctly, you should be Zoro in the trio of bounty hunters, right? You dare to kill the general stars of the Big Mom pirate group, and now you have provoked me. It's so bold. He squinted at Zoro slightly, and a fierce look flashed under his eyes. Zoro directly drew two sabers from his waist, and the third-generation Guido and Yuzu both held them in their hands. Then he looked at Doflamingo and said in a deep voice. Killing General Star is nothing. If you can kill you as 7 warlords of the sea, Doflamingo. Only in that way can we be famous on the sea. Heard these words. Tory Bolton was furious. Asshole. Dare to say this to Dover. Go to death for me. Sticky chains. I saw Toripal secreting thick, brown, slippery mucus from his body, and then the mucus shot out from a long distance, forming a chain of round beads and struck towards Zoro. A look of disgust flashed in Zoro's eyes. Ni Dao Lu Juhei. Rashomon. Need time. Zoro's figure flashed by. A pillar of blood spewed out instantly. And Toripal seemed to have no time to react, and his head had fallen off. What? Even Doflamingo's eyes couldn't help showing a hint of surprise. Thump. Toripal's head fell to the ground, his eyes filled with despair and unwillingness. He didn't think of it anyway. Zoro directly beheaded him as soon as he shot, without any resistance at all. Thump. Toripal's body fell heavily to the ground again, too dead to die. Toripal. Doflamingo saw Toripal's corpse lying on the ground, and there was already blue veins on his forehead roaring AJCG. Even his body began to tremble uncontrollably. Among the entire Donji side family, the highest cadres have the best relationship with him. However, at this time, Doflamingo saw Toripal, one of the top officials, who had died in front of him. What? Damn it! You actually killed Toripal. Doflamingo's eyes were full of anger. Even he didn't expect that Zoro would directly use his swordsmanship, and even kill Toripal with a single shot. To know, Toripal is the highest cadre of the Donji River de family, and the guy in front of him, Zoro, can kill Toripal with a single shot. Is his strength so terrifying? What kind of strength Luo N has imparted to you? Even my highest cadre is so vulnerable in front of you. Damn it, what about Nadiamanti and Pica? Doflamingo's heart suddenly tightened at this time. And Zoro also joked with a smile. The two highest cadres are in front of Johnny and Joseph. Like Toripal, they must all end this way. Zoro had a playful smile in his eyes, and his words were full of provocation. He even pulled out the word Hidao on his waist again and bit it in his mouth. The next step is to take your head. 7 warlords of the sea. Doflamingo. At the same time, the middle layer of King's Heights. Sword. Snake sword. However, Diamante turned the western sword in his hand into a light and fluttering look, stabbing towards Johnny like a snake. Johnny smiled coldly, and swung his famous sword Sakura 10 directly. Kang. The western sword in Diamante's hand has been cut off. What? Diamante was taken aback, but Johnny rushed directly with Sakura 10 in his hand. Who is the top cadre of the Don Quixote family? In front of my swordsman Johnny, your strength is too weak. Sword stream. Flying dragon. What? Johnny's figure flashed past like a flying dragon, covering Sakura 10 of armament hockey, directly cutting Diamante in the middle. Splashing blood. Diamante's eyes showed horror, but his mouth was completely speechless. Thump. He immediately fell to the ground and lost his breath completely. The other side. Stones. Only seeing Pika's body dive directly into the rocky ground, and then 8 rock tentacles protruding from behind Joseph appeared, and these tentacles directly pierced Joseph. Joseph held the famous knife with dead wood, and cut these tentacles completely with only 3 knives. Rock assimilation. With the voice falling, a rock giant tens of meters high suddenly appeared on the ground. The palm of this rock giant was bigger than Joseph's. It's Master Pika's ability. Pika-sama is a Paramesha stone fruit-capable person who can freely control rocks through physical contact. What a huge giant. Countless spectators saw this huge rock giant at a glance. At this time, the rock giant also raised his fist and slammed into Joseph on the ground. But seeing Joseph's eyes show a touch of disdain, his observation hockey had already captured where Pika was hiding in the rock. Doflamingo. With a sudden step on one foot, his body shape has jumped into the sky. And holding the handle of the dead wood in both hands, he directly hacked towards the head of the rock giant from top to bottom. Only a spatter of blood was seen. The huge rock giant collapsed directly and fell to the ground. And Pika's body fell heavily on the ground, and a very deep bloodstain had been cut in front of him. Asshole. I saw it through. I saw it through. Damn it. Puff. Pika's body had been damaged by the armed color, and immediately swallowed with his head tilted. Only played for 1 or 2 rounds. Johnny Joseph and the others killed the 2 highest cadres of the Don Quidditch family so easily. Spiritual time. The local residents below King's Heights were suddenly shocked. What? My goodness. Even the top cadre of the Don Quixote family was defeated. The apprentices of Luo N are too scary, right? It is said that they were just ordinary East Blue bounty hunters 2 months ago, but they are already so powerful 2 months later. Then Luo N, as a master, has his strength reached what point? Everyone present was full of consternation and discussion, and even their eyes were full of fear. Let's go. Go to the old meeting with Zoro. Go. Johnny and Joseph looked at each other and nodded, and then they ran towards the top of King's Heights together again, to the top to meet with Zoro. The uppermost layer of King's Heights. Doflamingo's complexion became more and more gloomy. Because his observation Hawkeye perceives, Diamante and Pika have also died in battle. Including Toripal. The 3 top cadres were so easily defeated by the Zoro trio, and the strength gap between the 2 parties was too great. And at this time, the other 2 people besides Zoro were also running towards the top level. Asshole. Doflamingo yelled angrily. His eyes no longer had the original jokes anymore, they were more angry. Among the entire Donji Heed family, these top cadres are undoubtedly the most closely related to him. These top cadres have supported Doflamingo since childhood, and have even been trying to support him as the One Piece. However today, these top cadres were all killed. Asshole. Laozi is going to kill you. You damn guys. Kang. Zoro pointed at him with 3rd generation in his right hand and said coldly. Doflamingo. Your top cadre is dead. You are the only one left next. The voice fell. Immediately rushed towards Doflamingo. 3 swords ghost slash. I saw Doflamingo's big hand suddenly waved, and each of his 5 fingers produced a nearly transparent silk thread. 5 color strings. Kang. Zoro's 3 knives were blocked by these 5 silk threads. Immediately step back 2 steps away. Zoro looked at Doflamingo thoughtfully. Then I couldn't help showing a hint of surprise. You can shoot silk threads from your fingers. Fruit ability. It seems that your strength is different from that of the cadres. Doflamingo heard these words. Doflamingo's face is still extremely angry. Take your life. You all pay for my top officials. Dropping ruffian string, only seeing his arm lifted from the top and then swung out abruptly in Zoro's direction. 5 thin lines landed directly from the sky and pierced towards Zoro's head. In the original work, Brother Ming directly pierced the enemy's body with this trick, thus brutally killing the enemy. But now he is facing Zoro. Only saw a flash of red light flashing in Zoro's eyes, and then the 2 knives of Ghost Toru and Yuki slammed upwards. Kang. With a crisp sound. These 5 silk threads have been completely blocked by Zoro. A bit capable, but it's not enough. Doflamingo scolded grimly, and waved his left hand at Zoro again. Fretsaw. In the original work, it was this trick that cut off Luo's arm. At this time, Brother Ming wanted to cut Sulong's neck directly. However, Zoro's observation Hawkeye had already caught this blow, and immediately his head was tilted, and the word Kazuha was split horizontally. Pin. It directly blocked the split silk thread. Then his hands shook suddenly, and his figure retreated dozens of steps again. The heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo in front of him clearly gave Zoro an extremely dangerous feeling. This guy, it's different from the top cadres I met before. As expected to be one of the members of 7 Warlords of the Sea. There was a touch of surprise in Zoro's eyes. If I hadn't blocked Brother Ming's Fretsaw trick just now, I'm afraid his head would be cut off and his life would be lost. He could see it. Doflamingo's strength is stronger than the Star Snug he met before. What's wrong? Isn't it yelling to step on my corpse and make a name for yourself at sea? I am here. Have the ability to take my life. Doflamingo's look at this time was particularly awkward, and then he rushed towards Zoro again. Leg shave string. He only saw 8 threads from his feet, and each thread was enough to cut the building horizontally. 3 swords tiger hunting. Zoro held a pair of knives behind his back, plus the saber biting in his mouth, directly and outrageously cut it out. Kang. Doflamingo's attack was blocked by Zoro again, but his arm swung out again, and several silk threads shot from the arm towards Zoro. Excess whip string. Zoro stepped back and swung a knife, completely bounced the threads. But Doflamingo swung the twist whip directly, drawing it toward Zoro like a long whip made of countless silk threads. Zoro immediately narrowed his eyes and furrowed his brows, and leaned back to avoid the move again. But this whip was once again swiped horizontally by Doflamingo. So fast. Zoro whispered in his heart, and immediately jumped up. What? The long whip passed by. Zoro couldn't help frowning at this moment. Obviously, Doflamingo's strength is far stronger than those of the top cadres, and it was able to suppress Zoro. What's wrong? Zoro, if Luo-an knew that his apprentice was killed by me, should be furious. But so what? You three guys killed my most beloved cadres. It's not just you. The other two guys are also going to die. Doflamingo said solemnly, his eyes gleaming gloomy. He has already decided. All three apprentices of Luo-an must be killed. And just now, the two figures jumped up directly, each swinging a sword aura in the air. Doflamingo raised his hand and waved the silk thread to block it. Step on. The two figures fell on the ground, standing side by side with Zoro. Johnny couldn't help laughing. Are you going to kill the three of us? Doflamingo. It's really enough. Joseph could not help but mockingly said. You think it depends on your strength. Can we kill all three of us at the same time? Laughing out, seeing that Johnny Joseph and the two have also solved the top cadre, and also came to the King's Heights. Zoro smiled. It would be a little troublesome to single out Doflamingo. But Johnny Joseph, since you are here too, it's the same as before against Crocodile in Alabasta. The three of us are together again. Tack this one of 7 warlords of the sea. Although the Zoro trio have obtained the top cheats handed to them by Luo-an, the progress in the cultivation of the top cheats is not much. The three of them probably have each practiced less than 10% of the progress in the cheat book. At this time, facing the 7 warlords of the sea, Doflamingo, known as the scariest man among Shichibukai. The three Zoro decided to shoot together. Chapter 85 9 Swords Flow, Kill Heavenly Yaksha. Advertise here. King's Heights. Peak. Doflamingo faced Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph alone, but he did not lose the slightest momentum. You three guys. It seems that I don't want to live anymore. Howl, 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 howl. Go to hell and give Torpal their burial. Even facing the Zoro 3. Doflamingo is not at all, what a fear. Only seeing his hands slammed out suddenly, 2 5-color strings slashed towards the Zoro 3 again. Double 5-color strings. When you wave your hands. Suddenly carrying 2 5-color strings towards the Zoro 3. The 3 Zoro suddenly narrowed their eyes, and observation haki had already spread out. Kang. Johnny and Joseph immediately raised their swords to block, and easily blocked Doflamingo's 5-color strings attack. More than that, Zoro was also under the cover of the two, and his figure flashed directly toward Doflamingo. 3 swords Gyuki Brave Claw. At this time, Zoro rushed towards Doflamingo like a cow, and the 3 knives slashed more than 8 consecutive attacks in an instant. Only seeing Doflamingo's body flew upside down in an instant, the chest in front of him was already filled with blood. Thump. Bang bang bang. Doflamingo's body hit the wall heavily and smashed the wall apart. Puff. Spouting blood from the mouth. Doflamingo still stood up. Although he was slashed by Zoro just now, but fortunately, he used silk thread to block the position of the heart in advance, otherwise, the blow just now would have been severely injured. A combination of the 3. You guys work together so tacitly. Cough cough cough. Doflamingo's eyes showed a dark smile. Just now, Johnny Joseph and the 2 blocked Ming's attack, and then Zoro took the opportunity to attack Ming. The cooperation of the 3 is very skillful and tacit, and even Doflamingo has suffered a lot. I already said it. You are not our opponent. Doflamingo. Johnny joked in a deep voice. Joseph also showed a sneer. Step on your corpse, only so that we can become famous on the sea faster. Doflamingo. Zoro also stood shoulder to shoulder with Johnny Joseph again, and looked at Doflamingo in a deep voice. Doflamingo. As 7 warlords of the sea, which belongs to the world government, you run all kinds of illegal businesses. That's it. You must die by our sword today. The voice fell. The Zoro 3 rushed towards Doflamingo again. You know, with the cooperation of the 3, Doflamingo has been cut and wounded by them. However, there was no fear in Doflamingo's eyes at this time. Chang Chang. Seeing the Zoro trio chopping again, Doflamingo also used silk thread as a weapon, imperviously blocking the trio's continuous attack. Chang Chang. Boom. The Zoro trio's offensive was extremely fast. The knife splits out. Doflamingo had another wound on his body. It was split again with 2 knives. Puff, puff, puff. 2 more wounds appeared on Doflamingo's body, and his eyes became more solemn. The offensive of the Zoro trio was too fierce, even with the strength of Doflamingo, it was completely unstoppable. Boom. Doflamingo's body flew out again, and the extremely powerful impact had already made him hit the wall heavily. The Zoro trio are preparing to chase, and give Doflamingo a fatal blow. But at this time, Buddha screams, screams and screams. Doflamingo's gloomy laughter came from the smoke-filled walls. The 3 Zoro looked at each other and then couldn't help showing a trace of confusion. Immediately afterwards, in the smoke of gunpowder, Doflamingo's figure was revealed again. Howl, 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 howl. Able to push me to this level, the 3 of you still have some strength. I already remember your names. Zoro, Johnny, Joseph. Right. However, Johnny and Joseph said coldly. Doflamingo, you have lost now. Is there any other tricks you can use? Zoro also raised the 2 sabers in his hands again, his eyes fixed on Doflamingo. However, Doflamingo smiled sternly again. Buddha, howl, 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 Buddha. You 3 are underestimating me. Have you heard that? Fruit awakening. The voice fell, only seeing Doflamingo press his hands on the ground in an instant. Hyuan white wave. Need time. The entire ground turned into white silk threads, and these countless threads also twisted towards the Zoro trio. What? The ability of the fruit to awaken. What kind of ability is this? Both Johnny Joseph's faces suddenly appeared astonished. And Zoro frowned. And thorns. The ground has turned into a white wave composed of countless silk threads, and the white wave swept up and entangled towards the Zoro trio. What? The Zoro three suddenly jumped into the air, trying to avoid the entangling attack of the white waves. Buddha, howl, 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 howl. You three bastards. Give it all to me, and pay for my cadres. Huge waves and white lines. Then he performed this trick directly, only to see the ground that had turned into a white line rise up, and turned into a huge wave toward the Zoro three. Boss Zoro. Johnny Joseph and the two yelled suddenly. Zoro nodded tacitly. However, Johnny Joseph and the two rushed directly against the huge white wave. Combined attack. 2 swordsmanship for 2. Should go upstairs. Under armament Hockey's cover, Sakura 10 and withered knives cut out immediately. Boom. Johnny and Joseph once again stopped the attack of this huge white wave, trying to buy time for Zoro. At the same time, Zoro jumped directly and rushed towards Doflamingo not far away. 3 Dao Lu Yanmei Demon Sleepless Night Ghost Slash. This is the strongest version of 3 Swords Rivalries Zan. I only saw Zoro's figure flashing past, and Doflamingo once again controlled another huge wave to rise. Naive. You can't beat me. Shield white line. Another huge white wave rose up and blocked Zoro in front of him. Huh. Zoro's attack slashed on the white giant wave, and it turned out that there was only a trace of a knife edge. Isn't it cut off? Zoro's expression already showed a look of consternation. Howl, whistle, whistle. Is it just that? It's just that you can't kill me. Doflamingo's laughter resounded once again through the uppermost layer of the King's Heights. However, Zoro has not given up yet. 3 swordsmanship thousands and 80s annoyed Phoenix. A slash wave tens of meters high attacked Doflamingo again. And Doflamingo still controlled the white giant wave, heading towards the oncoming one. Boom. Slash wave slashed on the white huge wave, only a huge sound was heard, but it was unable to cut off the white huge wave's defense at all. These threads. If I have completely mastered the top armament Hawkeye, it must be possible to cut these threads. Zoro's look was already a bit ugly. Boom. The white huge wave on the other side also fought against Johnny Joseph, and then separated from the two. He Chuhei. There are huge white waves surging on the ground, and these white waves are just after the Doflamingo fruit awakens, turning the ground into countless silk threads. The offensive and defensive powers of these white waves are extremely powerful. Certainly, exerting the fruit awakening ability also brought Doflamingo a lot of physical exertion. Hoo. Doflamingo's forehead was sweaty, but he still squinted at the Zoro trio. Can force me to display the power of fruit awakening. You should be proud too. But, you still have to die. Go to hell now. Howl, 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 Buddha, howl. While talking, an incomparable killing intent flashed in Doflamingo's eyes. The 3 Zoro in front of them were all enemies who killed the highest cadres. Dover Romance had already wanted to kill them. 1,000 arrows piercing heart feather strike line. Countless threads of thread shot towards the Zoro trio, and armament Hawkeye was wrapped around the tip of each thread. Johnny and Joseph yelled badly, and they stopped in front of Zoro again. Dowley. 360 Trouble Phoenix. Sword Stream 360 Troubled Phoenix. Both of them performed the same swordsmanship and cut towards the oncoming silk thread. Zoro stood there and watched Johnny Joseph rush forward, knowing that the two of them wanted to buy time for themselves. That being the case, but seeing Zoro raised his hands. Mito Stream. Yi Gang Li Luo. Second Gang Li Luo. His arms swelled in a circle in an instant, and a purple ghost began to fill his body. Ghost. 9 swords flow. As the voice fell, I only saw Zoro turning into a 3-headed 6-arm shape, with a total of 9 sabers on his body. The whole body was filled with ghostly, and it looked terrible. Bang bang. I saw that Johnny and Joseph had been shaken back by Doflamingo's attack. And just now, Zoro, with 3 heads and 6 arms, jumped up and rushed towards Doflamingo. Upon seeing this, Doflamingo couldn't help frowning. Zoro in the state of 3 heads and 6 arms was terrible. Immediately he saw that Brother Ming's figure had jumped into the air, and then 16 huge white waves rose from the ground. Moreover, armament Hawkeye was entwined on top of these 16 huge white waves, and the huge waves had turned into a spear-like shape. Asshole. The 2 little brothers are covering you again. So what kind of attack are you going to display? You also try my strongest trick. 16 rounds of sacred fierce bullets God kills. 16 huge white waves that turned into spears have rushed towards Zoro, and Zoro's eyes are not moved at all. Ghost Chi 9 Swords Ashura. Wearing power. But seeing Zoro's figure flashed by, those 16 huge white waves couldn't capture Zoro's figure at all. Huh. Splash of blood. Puff. Even Doflamingo's mouth spouted a puff of blood. Only seeing Zoro's 9 knives stabbed directly into Doflamingo's body. Puff. He spurted out again. The huge white waves on the ground returned to normal ground, and Doflamingo's body fell directly to the ground. What? No, it's impossible. There is such a move. You guy. Doflamingo's mouth overflowed with blood, and only felt that his vitality was fading rapidly. Step on. Zoro has also fallen to the ground. Hoo. Then he gasped heavily. Zoro, who displayed the Ashura form of the 9 swords, almost exhausted his stamina. He can only sit on the ground and gasp. Doflamingo. How? The Fruit Awakening ability is indeed powerful. This is also the first time I have officially used the ability of 9 swords. Even Zoro couldn't help sighing. No doubt, Doflamingo's strength is indeed very powerful. It not only makes string fruit superbly played, but also develops string fruit to the point of awakening. It can be seen that his strength is indeed strong. Or it can be said, except for the previous Admiral Aokiji, Doflamingo is the strongest enemy Zoro has ever encountered. It is true, Doflamingo's strength has brought a great threat to the Zoro trio. If it weren't for Johnny and Joseph to block Ming's attack, it would have created several opportunities for Zoro to attack. I am afraid that Zoro may not be able to defeat Doflamingo on his own. Puff. Another spurt of blood. Doflamingo's body has been completely destroyed by armament hockey. Asshole. What a strong swordsmanship. This is the disciple taught by Luo En. Zoro. I lost. Cough. He coughed up blood again. ... Just now, a childish-looking little girl ran out from the palace. The little girl was wearing a Madara-dotted dress and a single-sided glasses on her left eye. When she saw that Doflamingo had fallen to the ground, she ran directly towards the Zoro trio. Zero. Look for flowers. What? I'm so scared. Her voice is very childish, and it sounds like a little sister in the ears of the Zoro trio. What? The little girl screamed and ran towards the Zoro 3 big brothers. I'm so scared. Hug. The little girl opened her hand and stretched out to Zoro's 3 people, and yelled that she wanted to hug. The 3 of Zoro are still unclear on the spot, so how could this girl run out of Dressrosa Palace? Suddenly, an uneasy feeling arose in my heart inexplicably. Back. Zoro gave an order. Johnny, Joseph and the 2 immediately backed away a few steps away. And the little girl pursed her lips, and began to sob. Like pear flowers. Ming woo 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 YPSS lip SDSSSSS sob. Ming woo 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 woo. She started to sob like rain. Who are you? Zoro asked in a deep voice. Why did you appear from Doflamingo's palace? Who was abducted and sold, thanks to you who defeated Doflamingo's arms. Elder brother, I should hug you. However, the Zoro trio still looked at the little girl very vigilantly. If something goes wrong, there must be a demon. After these days of experience, the Zoro trio will always keep an eye on this sudden change. It must not be a normal thing for a little girl who looked like 10 years old to run out of the palace city. Just when the Zoro trio felt extremely puzzled, suddenly, a voice came from a distance. 3 warriors. She is the cadre of Don Quixote family Sugar. Don't be touched by her, otherwise you will be turned into a toy like me. The voice fell. A one-legged toy soldier has arrived at the top of the king's heights. When they saw the one-legged toy soldier, the Zoro 3 immediately looked at each other and looked at the little girl Sugar again. Granulated Sugar. The cadre of the Don Quixote family. No wonder you will come out of the palace city. How dare we be caught by Doflamingo? Kang. Johnny and Joseph directly drew their knives and pointed them at the little girl Granulated Sugar, and Granulated Sugar immediately changed their expressions, knowing that their identity had been revealed. Step to step, the toy soldier had already arrived in front of the Zoro trio, and then introduced their identity to the Zoro trio. Finally the 3 Zoro knew. It turned out that all the vital toys on this island were originally human beings. It was only because of offending the Don Quixote family or other reasons that those humans were turned into toys by the little girl in front of them. With the discussion finished, in order to verify what I said is true, the toy soldier had suddenly jumped up behind the Sugar, and raised the wooden stick in his hand and knocked it towards the back of the Sugar. Boom. Sugar turned his eyes white and fainted. Need time. The figure of the one-legged toy soldier flickered with a ray of light, transforming into the human appearance of Cyrus. Thump. Kneel down immediately. Thanks to the 3 warriors for defeating Doflamingo. You saved this country. I am Cyrus. At the same time, all the toys on Dressrosa Island dissipated with the light, and then returned to human form. 8 years. I finally regained my human form. Wow, ha 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 ha. The people around me have restored their memories of me. Wife and children, I'm back. Thank you so much. It was the leaders of Doflamingo and Don Quixote family who were defeated. It is the cadres who have been defeated, so we can restore our human form. All the toy soldiers in the town also regained their human form, and the people around them also regained their memories. All the people in Dressrosa realized that it must be Zoro who defeated Doflamingo and the cadres of the Don Quixote family, so they were restored to human form. Very good. Thank you so much. It was Luo N's apprentices who saved us. Ah, thank you so much. There have even been countless people running towards King's Heights. We want to thank them. They liberated us again. The apprentices of Luo N. Thank them so much. Countless people rushed towards the heights of the king. King's Heights. Puff. Doflamingo spit out another mouthful of blood. When he saw that the toys had recovered their human form, he knew in his heart that he had lost. And it was a complete loss. The apprentices of Luo N. You made me lose so badly. Puff. He tried to struggle to get up, but at this time his body was very weak. The blood had already stained the ground, and the wound on his body was still dripping with blood. Doflamingo, you don't have to struggle. I will send you on the road. What? Zoro held the Gedo directly into Doflamingo's chest. Puff. Spouting blood from the mouth. Doflamingo's pupils suddenly shrank, and his head tilted and he died. Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, fell and was killed by the 3 Zoro. Boss Zoro, remember that you said you wouldn't do anything to women. So this cadre is left to kill. What? Johnny slashed directly, and the cadre who fainted on the ground was also directly sealed with a throat. Zoro's eyes moved slightly and said nothing. Although this granulated sugar seems to be just a 10-year-old girl, it looks harmless to humans and animals. In fact, she is also an accomplice of Doflamingo. To die is to die. Need time. The whole country is boiling. Doflamingo's evil deeds have spread to everyone's ears, and Cyrus also kneeled toward the Zoro trio on behalf of the Liku royal family. They are members of the Hunters Guild, they are also Luo N's apprentices. No, that's not right, you shouldn't just call him Luo N's apprentices. Remember their names, they are Zoro, Johnny, Joseph. They are all benefactors of Dressrosa. Countless local residents have flocked to the King's Heights, and they all want to express their gratitude to Zoro and the others. Deficit. Chapter 86 True Justice. The Pirate Alliance. Advertise here. 5 days later, the news of Doflamingo's death spread all over the sea. More than that, the news also revealed that Doflamingo used the relationship with the world government to do many illegal things to harm the people. Destroying Dressrosa for 10 years. Doflamingo's kingdom dream is broken. World government indulges evil deeds. Heavenly Yaksha's illegal activities. Hunters Guild. Perform true justice. Residents all over the world have seen these news. Do you know? Luo N's apprentices killed another 7 warlords of the sea Doflamingo. Doflamingo has crippled a country for 10 years, and it is said that he is also involved in many illegal things such as arms trading and human trafficking. Doflamingo is really damned. Countless people are filled with righteous indignation. Moreover, the world government also condoned Doflamingo's evil deeds and allowed him to do all the bad things he had done to harm the people. Thanks to the apprentices of Luo N. 477, thanks to the Hunters Guild. Not only did they kill celestial dragons, but they also killed many famous pirates one after another recently. The local people were killed, and Marine did not help, even the people they took the initiative to help. Marine can't be called true justice at all. The Zoro 3 have performed true justice. The Hunters Guild is the real justice in this world. Residents all over the world are talking about it. Such words are everywhere in the world. To know that killing the pirates to protect the people should be Marine's responsibility and obligation. But so many people were persecuted, Marine and the world government were completely indifferent, and even condoned Shichibukai to abuse the people. Now, it was Zoro who killed Doflamingo and liberated many people who were persecuted. This matter is simply too popular. Few people's impressions of the justice of the world government and Marine have greatly changed, and even think that the Hunters Guild represented by the 3 of Sulong is the real justice. World government. Secret room. 5 elders is already frowning deeply, and even some people are furious. Asshole. What is true justice? That fellow Doflamingo was defeated by Luo N's apprentices. It also exposed the close relationship between Doflamingo and our world government. This incident has greatly damaged the majesty of the world government, and even the Hunters Guild established by Luo N has gained the support of many ordinary people. The goal of Luo N is to curb the influence of the world government. That's why he established a Hunters Guild, and through various methods to improve the guild's influence. So in the end, the Hunters Guild will fight against the world government. He really made a good calculation. 5 elders is talking about it. Their faces are very ugly. Grand line, baldage. Dorig sat in the office and said thoughtfully. Is it true justice? Interesting. This guy Luo N made a good calculation. The power that is now supported by the people in the world is neither the world government nor our revolutionaries. It's this Hunters Guild with only 4 members. In less than a month, the name of this guild has spread all over the sea. Dorag lowered his head and wondered what he was thinking. Sabo standing at the desk said, Mr. Dorag, Luo N openly founded the Hunters Guild, which seems to be a target of public criticism and is targeted by the pirates and Marine. But in fact, the reputation of this Hunters Guild is rapidly expanding, and its influence is gradually expanding. In so much time, the name of the Hunters Guild spread across the sea. Luo N, he is simply a geek. Dorag nodded too. I agree with what Sabo said. I even faintly began to feel that the Hunter Guild created by Luo N will definitely grow and become a force that can influence the world. New World. The Golden City is known as the world's largest entertainment city. Inside a palace, a man is sitting on a large chair made of gold. His whole body was gleaming gold, and the necklace on his neck, the earrings on his ears, etc. were all gold. This person is the Golden Emperor Tezzolo. He owns 20% of the world's wealth, and his own strength is extremely powerful. Guy ga ga ga. Has Doflamingo been killed? Hunters Guild. Luo-N's apprentices. If an organization like this exists in this world, it will definitely be extremely detrimental to me. Tezzolo and Doflamingo have had very close exchanges. At this time, I learned that Doflamingo was killed, and Tezzolo was also worried that this so-called Hunters Guild would sooner or later stare at his head. That being the case, then it is better to turn passive into active. Master Golden Emperor, what are your plans for this so-called Hunters Guild? A subordinate next to him asked Zoro. A sorrowful smile appeared in the corner of Tezzolo's eyes. It's easy. I plan to spend a high price to form a big alliance of pirates, to gather the most vicious pirates on the sea. Go to the Hunters Guild together. Before the Hunters Guild has yet to develop and grow, this guild will be eliminated in one fell swoop. Tezzolo said. He is not only extremely powerful, and also owns 20% of the world's money. As long as they are driven by sufficient interests, those pirates will surely see money open. Paused. Tezzolo continued. And the elimination of the Hunters Guild is a good thing for all the pirates. Since the general star of the Big Mom pirate group and Doflamingo, these two great pirates have been killed one after another. Today's Hunters Guild, I am afraid it has become a thorn in the eyes of many pirates. I think there should be a lot of pirates willing to join in, maybe even 4 emperors will participate in the battle. Even if you can't kill Luo-N, at least those Luo-N apprentices who are inferior to the tiger must be killed. New World Cake Island. Secret Room. Didn't Kaido say that he has agreed to cooperate? Why hasn't there been any news? But I can't wait to take revenge. What Hunter Guild? What Luo-N? What Luo-N's apprentice? Everything is going to die. A cold look flashed in Big Mom's eyes lying on the ground. Katakuri, standing in front of him, replied respectfully. Report to Mom. Kaido let us wait, and said that at 2.6 he is preparing a killer copper for Luo-N, and it won't take long to complete it. And Big Mom said indifferently. Killer copper? What killer copper can he have? Fine. Wait a while. I hope he won't live up to my expectations. The voice fell. Katakuri continued. By the way, Mom. One more thing. The Golden Emperor Tezzolo is preparing to form a pirate alliance, specifically to eradicate the Hunters Guild. May I ask our pirate group to participate? Heard the news. A cold smile appeared in Big Mom's eyes. Form a big league of pirates. Specifically to eradicate Hunters Guild. Join. Of course we have to participate in this kind of thing. At least you can kill all Luo-N's apprentices. Chapter 87 Hunters Guild. Kuzan joins. Advertise here. New World. On an island. The cadres of red hair pirates are all gathered together. Red-haired boss. The Golden Emperor Tezzolo formed a pirate alliance in an attempt to eradicate the Hunters Guild. Are we going to participate? Rakilu couldn't help asking. Shanks immediately shook his head and jokingly answered. There is no grievance or enmity between us and Luo-N. There is no need to provoke him. Not to mention. I also want to see how the Hunters Guild created by Luo-N will change the situation in this world. But I'm really looking forward to it. Hear what Shanks said. The other cadres couldn't help nodding their heads in agreement. Ben Beckman also said. Indeed, I also agree with what Shanks said. It's better not to get involved in such a war. Hearing that even Ben Beckman, the deputy captain, had already said so, the matter was naturally settled. New World. Honeycomb. Blackbeard still sits leisurely on the recliner, holding a newspaper in his hand and is closing 09 to note the facts. Was Heavenly Yaksha of Shichibukai killed? Hunters Guild. Recently, this guild has gradually gained fame on the sea. It seems that Luo-N, the bounty hunter, seems to have a lot of ambition. With Blackbeard's voice has fallen. Fighting champion Badgers walked towards Blackbeard. Captain, there is news from the black market. The Golden Emperor Tezzolo is preparing to form a pirate alliance in order to eradicate the Hunters Guild. Does our pirate group participate? Need time. Blackbeard suddenly squinted his eyes and thought, then immediately shook his head. The Pirate League. To eradicate the Hunters Guild. This matter has nothing to do with us. Just don't provoke people who shouldn't be provoked. Of course we don't want to participate. Badgers also nodded. It makes sense, and provoked Luo-N, the pirates in Tezzolo are probably crazy. I really hope that other 4 emperors will participate. Blackbeard said with a dark smile. This way I have a chance to occupy the sites of those 4 emperors, thief ha 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 ha. Blackbeard deserves to be a table man. He will never risk things that shouldn't be done. New World Wanokuni. Ghost Island. Inside the cave. Kaido was sitting on the stone chair, holding a jug of wine in his hand and pouring it from the sky. Guru. A jar of wine under the water. Kaido's expression only eased slightly. Although the dragon's horns on his head have grown a little, it will take some time to fully recover. Ming. Poor Joker. The final reason is that you are too weak. It will be killed by Luo-N's apprentices. Ming Wu Ming. Poor Heavenly Yaksha. Kaido was angry and sighed with sadness. At this time, the flame cinders had already arrived in the cave. Master Kaido, the Golden Emperor Tezzolo wants to form a pirate alliance, in order to eradicate Luo-N's Hunters Guild. Does our pirate group participate? When he heard the word, Luo-N, Kaido's moody face suddenly became serious. He even raised his hand and touched the broken dragon horn on his head. Asshole. Damn Luo-N. This guy. Kaido's eyes showed a trace of fear in Wei Mi's eyes. Although he is known as the immortal body, when he fought against Luo-N before, he was really facing the threat of death. Then he came back to his senses, Kaido said contemptuously. What pirates can also form a big alliance? Those little characters dare to challenge the Hunters Guild. It's just overkill. Only when we beasts pirates cooperate with the big mom pirates can we truly eradicate the Hunters Guild. Paused. Kaido continued to ask. Right, Jin, how are our things prepared? Only by using it can we defeat Luo-N. Hear Kaido's inquiry. Yan Calamity Cinder couldn't help but said in a deep voice. Report to Lord Kaido. That thing. It should be completed in half a month at the earliest. Heard these words. Kaido nodded immediately and responded. Okay, very good, as long as there is that thing as my killer copper. Even Luo-N is nothing to say. The Pirate League doesn't need to think about it anymore, they are just going to die. New World Hunting Island. Luo-N was lying on the bed in the wooden house, his expression was extremely leisurely and contented. He was reading with relish with a newspaper in his hand. Kill Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo, one of Shichibukai. Zoro and the three guys, they really did a big deal. True justice. Interesting. Luo-N's eyes are full of joking. Luo-N really doesn't care about what real justice is. Even he himself had not thought that the Hunter Guild would be regarded by the common people as true justice. But this is also good. Because this can also increase the influence of the Hunters Guild. Just when 477 was thinking. Luo-N's eyes couldn't help but wrinkle slightly. Then he got up. Crunch. Push open the wooden door. Luo-N stood at the door and looked up to the front, only to see a figure in front of him. This is a tall and thin man. The man wears sunglasses and casual clothes. But the most surprising thing is that under this man's left leg is a prosthetic made of an icicle. Step to step, but even the prosthesis did not seem to affect the man's actions. Ah la la, Mr. Luo-N, since Marineford goodbye. We finally met on this island. The man walked slowly towards Luo-N, and then said. Aokiji. Luo-N smiled and then changed his words. Wrong. You should be called Kuzan. You came to me specially. The short-legged man who appeared was Marine Hara Admiral Aokiji Kuzan. However, since he is no longer Marine, Luo-N called him by name instead of code name. Step to step, Aokiji has come to Luo-N. Then Tan Tan said slowly. Ah la la, Mr. Luo-N, I heard about your Hunter Guild a long time ago. Do you mind if I join? Chapter 88 Heir of the Devil. Bullet is here. Advertise here. When I saw Kuzan appeared. Even if it was Luo-N, he never thought of it. Since the Hunters Guild was founded, Kuzan will be the first member to join the guild besides their mentors and apprentices. You said you want to join my Hunter Guild. Luo-N's face showed a somewhat playful smile. Not bad. Kuzan nodded and then asked, I want to join your Hunters Guild, don't you mind? Paused. Luo-N smiled and said, when you were at Sabayati Archipelago, you didn't kill my apprentices. That's it. I have to thank you for those apprentices. Welcome to join the Hunters Guild. As a translator, Luo-N, he naturally understands the justice that Kuzan insists on. That kind of justice may be what the people of this world need. Not to mention, Kuzan is a real admiral-level combat power. If the former Marine Admiral joins, there is no doubt that it can greatly increase the influence of the Hunters Guild. While talking, Luo-N has stretched out his hand. Kuzan said curiously, oh, Mr. Luo-N, don't you ask me why I want to join your guild. Just agreed. Kuzan looked surprised. Luo-N did not ask him for the purpose of joining the Hunters Guild, and directly agreed to his request. No need. If it's you, I choose to believe. Luo-N smiled jokingly and didn't care. No matter how you look at it. The addition of the original Marine Admiral Kuzan must be a good thing for the Hunters Guild. Although Luo-N doesn't care. But Kuzan looked up at the sky and explained fascinatingly. First joined Marine when I was young, and when I was young, I was full of enthusiasm for Marine's future and always followed the burning justice. In the Ohara incident 20 years ago, I saw Sakazuki personally killing innocent people, so I was confused about Marine's justice. Long time of distress made me determined to become lazy justice. I think justice will have different opinions on people from different positions, and justice will change with positions. Paused. Kuzan looked at Luo-N again. Then he said very seriously. There has been news about the Hunters Guild at sea these days, and your apprentices must have killed so many pirates according to your instructions. Regardless of whether the opponent is a general or 7 warlords of the sea, which belongs to the world government, the Hunters Guild will always behead the opponent. Many people in the world are now saying that the Hunters Guild is the real justice in this world. Mr. Luo-N, so I want to join your Hunters Guild, wondering what is true justice. Listen to Kuzan's explanation. In fact, Luo En is not interested in justice at all, and he feels very inexplicable even for the remarks that the Hunters Guild is the real justice. Because even the founder of his guild doesn't know what true justice is. Contemplated for a long time. Finally, Luo En slowly said. Kuzan, what is true justice? Actually, I don't quite understand. But if the people can be full of praise for this, then this must be a kind of justice worthy of respect. Hear what Luo En said. Kuzan's eyes widened suddenly, as if he was being called by an expert, he suddenly said. As expected of Mr. Luo En. Kuzan got taught. The justice recognized by the common people is the real justice. It turns out that you have such a unique understanding of justice. I have been thinking about this problem for more than 20 years, and today I was hit by the ground in your words. It seems that joining your Hunters Guild is indeed the right choice. Hear what Kuzan said. Ahem. Luo En also smiled awkwardly. How does he know what justice is? It's just because of Luo En's perspective as a traverser. Whether it is the world before or in the world today, as long as it can be praised and supported by the people, it must be a good thing. Thump. But at this time Kuzan had already agreed with Luo En's remarks from the bottom of his heart, so he knelt down on one knee. Mr. Luo En, I, Kuzan, formally joined the Hunters Guild from today. In the future, you will follow the president's instructions in any actions, and will definitely not do anything like a guild. IFK. Is it so formal, as expected of Marine? Luo En complained like this in his heart. But still beckoned. Alright, Kuzan. From now on, you will be a member of our Hunters Guild. Get up first. Kuzan immediately agreed. Good president. Then stand up from the ground again. After the president's advice on the concept of justice, I am no longer confused. Kuzan said very seriously again. Only justice supported and praised by the people is true justice. Forehead. Luo En just smiled awkwardly again, without explaining too much. Just now. Suddenly Luo En couldn't help frowning. Kuzan. Did you bring someone here, Zhao Zhao? Why is there a violent breath approaching this island? Kuzan immediately released observation Hawkeye. What a violent atmosphere. Mr. President, I didn't bring anyone to this island. The voice fell. Boom. There was a sudden vibration, and both Luo En and Kuzan looked up to the front. Luo En. East Blue's bounty hunter Luo En. I heard that you are very strong, so Laozi came to you and sweated. Time. Boom. But again, a loud noise was heard. A man has suddenly jumped from a distance. I only saw this man tall and strong, with long blonde hair, wearing earmuffs, and wearing military uniform. As a traverser, Luo En blurted out involuntarily. Bullet. Chapter 89 The Overlord Who Doesn't Want to Be Subdued. Advertise here. Not only Bullet came to this island. Even the Marine Fleet, which is responsible for monitoring the Bullet, moved towards Hunter Island. There are 9 warships in this Marine Fleet, and the commander-in-chief of the fleet is the alternate Admiral Momosugi. Momosugi Vice Admiral stood on the deck. A Marine soldier ran over and bowed. Vice Admiral, Bullet's ship has docked on the shore of this hunting island, and Bullet has entered this hunting island. Should we get close to this island? This island is exactly where Luo En is located. Hear the soldiers report. Momosugi Vice Admiral immediately ordered. Get off immediately so that the fleet can stop advancing. Don't get close to this hunting island. The hunting island is the base of the Hunters Guild, and the strongest bounty hunter Luo En is here. Bullet came to this island. It should be specially to find Luo En. We must never get close to this island, otherwise we may face 2 extremely powerful monsters at the same time. After hearing the order of Momosugi Vice Admiral, the fleet finally stopped at a distance of 2 to 3 kilometers from the hunting island. They only dared to watch from a distance with a telescope. Due to the previous battle between Luo En and Kaido, the 2 fiercely raised the dense forest on this hunting island. So now you only need to use a telescope to get an unobstructed view of everything happening on the island. Momosugi Vice Admiral, Bullet came to this hunting island. Is he trying to challenge Luo En? Hearing questions from Marine soldiers. Momosugi Vice Admiral nodded and said, it should be for this reason. Bullet's goal is to become the strongest in the world. Recently, the name of Luo En has resounded through this sea. Bullet should be trying to prove his strength by defeating Luo En. The other Marine soldiers said in a puzzled manner. Momosugi Vice Admiral, is Bullet strong? Dare to come alone to trouble Luo En? Hear this inquiry. Momosugi Vice Admiral's eyes narrowed slightly and then he said in a deep voice. Bullet, 477 inches. When he was young, he was a crew member of One Piece Roger. When he was young, he was already on par with Rayleigh. Now that he escaped from Impel Down, his strength must have surpassed that of when he was young. The voice fell. The Marine soldiers present suddenly took a breath. When I was young, I was able to compete with Pluton Rayleigh. Now he is even stronger than when he was young. This guy Bullet, that would undoubtedly be terribly strong. Will Luo En be his opponent? These Marine soldiers looked at each other in awe. Momosugi Vice Admiral shook his head and said, not sure. Although Luo En has defeated Kaido, there is no doubt that the strength of Bullet is by no means inferior to Kaido. I am afraid that even Luo En can't beat Bullet. Did not expect. Momosugi Vice Admiral's evaluation of Luo En is so high. The marine soldiers around were shocked. I'm afraid that even Luo-en can't beat Bullet. Bullet, this guy. Is he already so strong? Momoshiki Vice Admiral picked up the binoculars and looked towards the hunting island in front of him, then said in a deep voice. Look at it. There must be a battle between Bullet and Luo-en. But even if Bullet can defeat Luo-en, then Bullet will definitely be seriously injured. Then we can take the opportunity to take down Bullet. Hear about Momoshiki Vice Admiral's plan. The other marine soldiers nodded. And at this time, some marine soldiers were surprised. Momoshiki Vice Admiral, look at it. Aokiji Admiral is also on this island. He's wrong. It should be said that Kuzan is right now. Mr. Kuzan came to this hunting island. Momoshiki Vice Admiral also saw Kuzan on the island at this time, and his brows suddenly frowned. What did Kuzan come to this island for? Is it here to find Luo-en? So does Kuzan want to join Luo-en's Hunter League? Suddenly thought of this, Momoshiki Vice Admiral's face suddenly became horrified. On the island, Douglas Bullet at this time is looking at Luo-en and Kuzan. Good. The person here is Douglas Bullet, a man called Heir of the Devil, whose goal is to become the strongest in the world. Bounty Hunter Luo-en, it's all news about you at sea these days. Even Kaido, one of the 4 emperors, has been beaten away by you. I want to kill you, all the 4 emperors and all the Marine Admiral, to prove the strongest strength in my world. So I will kill you first, and then kill this former Marine Admiral Kuzan. Bullet's goal in this life is to become the strongest in the world. Only by killing all the strong on the sea can he prove that he is the strongest in the world, so he went directly to Luo-en. To know, Luo-en is the most recent man on the sea. First defeated Eagle Eye, then beheaded Golden Lion Shiki, then went to Marineford alone, and recently defeated Kaido, one of the 4 emperors known as the Immortal. These various achievements are sufficient to prove the strength of Luo-en. It is for this reason that Bullet wants to defeat Luo-en first to prove its unparalleled strength. At this time, only seeing the endless killing intent in Bullet's eyes, he looked at Luo-en and Kuzan unabashedly. Ha ha ha, you two are my prey. Luo-en, and Kuzan. Are you going to deal with me together? Or do I solve you one by one? Undisguised killing intent. Undisguised fighting spirit. This is Bullet. Bullet aims to be the strongest in the world. Only by killing all the strong can he prove that he is strong enough. President Luo-en, I just joined your guild today. So I'll be fine. Kuzan was talking while preparing to shoot. But at this moment, I saw that Bullet's figure had suddenly appeared beside Aokiji, and then he hit Aokiji with a punch. Boom. Aokiji's body flew out instantly. Oh ha ha ha. Predecessor Admiral Kuzan, your physique is really bad. Bullet's words are full of mockery. Not far away, Kuzan got up, his body became ashamed again, but fortunately he didn't suffer any injuries. Ah la la, it's worthy of being the man who defeated the Buster Call back then. Douglas Bullet. The air conditioning had already condensed in his hands, and he was about to shoot. Kuzan is not good at physical skills, so it is normal to be caught off guard by a punch. However, just when Kuzan was about to make another shot, Luo-ajcg-n stepped forward again and faced Bullet's eyes. The purpose of Bullet's coming to this island was to come to me. So you just watch it by the side. Kuzan, hear the president's order. Kuzan immediately stopped and was no longer ready to take a shot, and even just stepped back. President Luo-en, you have to be careful. When Bullet was on Roger's ship, he was called a man equivalent to Pluton Rayleigh. And today's Bullet, his strength is probably even higher than that of the past. It is true, after all these years of tireless training in prison. Bullet has surpassed the strength of the year, and it can also be said that it has surpassed the strength of Pluton Rayleigh. Even Marine Admiral in his 1v1, I am afraid it is difficult to be the opponent of Bullet. Don't worry, Luo-en smiled and then jokingly said. And just right, I haven't used physique for a long time. Just use physical skills to fight him. In recent Luo-en battles almost always use Ryujin Jaka's abilities or swordsmanship. There is almost no pure use of physical skills to make a good fight. To know, Luo-en is not only the pinnacle of swordsmanship, his physical skills have also reached the pinnacle level. Hear hear, a killing intent flashed in Bullet's eyes. Competition physical skills. I have already practiced physical skills to the peak. East Blue's bounty hunter Luo-en. If you want to talk about physical fitness, no one has ever been able to compete with me. Luo-en jokingly smiled indifferently. Really? Then try it. Bullet. Being so provoked by Luo-en, Bullet immediately narrowed his eyes. Good. I will kill you. This proves that I am the strongest in the world. The voice fell. I saw that Bullet's eyes started slightly and then opened suddenly. Buzz. Period time. An incredibly large Conqueror's Haki rushed towards Luo-en today. Conqueror's Haki. Luo-en smiled. After that, it also instantly brewed a force in the body. Buzz. The same huge momentum has directly risen into the sky, instantly propping Conqueror's Haki of Bullet. Moreover, the Conqueror's Haki of the two was released, and it directly enveloped the entire island. Hoo. Conqueror's Haki set off endless air currents, and even the sandy trees on the islands were blown coldly. An endless stream of air blows on the bodies of Luo-en, Bullet, and Aokiji, and their clothes have even blown into the air. Hoo 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 hoo. Boom. With a thunderous sound, even the sky seemed to split apart. Woo ha 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 ha. Do bounty hunters also use Conqueror's Haki? It's no wonder that you will establish a hunter's guild, precisely because you don't want to succumb to others. Wow ha 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 ha. What Bullet said is indeed the case. Luo-en didn't want to join Marine because he didn't want to subdue to others, he didn't want to follow other people's orders or be ordered by superiors. So after coming to New World, Luo-en established the Hunters Guild by himself. Become the president by yourself. No superior. There is no need to listen to anyone's orders. No need to settle down. Not far away. When Kuzan saw this scene, he couldn't help but say, "Ah la la, dare to create a third-party force in New World, with such a strong courage and courage." Sure enough, President Luo-en is the man who owns Conqueror's Haki. For Luo-en's Conqueror's Haki, Kuzan didn't think it was any strange, and even thought it was justified. A man like Luo-en, there should be an extremely powerful Conqueror's Haki. Boom. The clouds in the sky have been divided into two, and even the Conqueror's Haki of Luo-en and Bullet has completely enveloped the island. On the island, the endless wind is raging. Both Luo-en and Bullet stand proudly like this. Bring it on, Bullet. Let me see the strength of the devil's heirs. Luo-en said directly provocatively. He stayed on this island for too long, and finally a Bullet came to relieve his boredom. Therefore, Luo-en doesn't even bother to use Ryujin Jaka, but chooses to compete with Bullet. What an arrogant fellow. It's no wonder that the sea is all your rumors these days. In that case, then go to death. Bullet's eyes were already full of war spirits. Boom. Lightly with one foot, he suddenly rushed towards Luo-en, and raised his right fist directly towards Luo-en. And Luo-en also smiled coldly. Naturally, he was not afraid at all. Boom. The right foot is also lighter, and his figure rushes towards Bullet. Bring it on. Chapter 90 Fierce Physical Warfare. Like a ghost from hell. Advertise here. Boom. Luo-en and Bullet rushed towards each other, their fists were already raised. Then suddenly smashed out. Boom. There was only a loud noise. Luo-en and Bullet fisted. Boom boom. The endless air flow instantly centered on the two of them and swept out all around. This is an extremely large air current, even Kuzan can't help but frown when he sees this scene. These two guys. What a powerful sense of oppression. My physical skills are far inferior to the two of them. It is true. What Aokiji is best at is naturally the use of frozen fruits abilities. Although it is not weak in physical skills, it is not worth mentioning compared to the real strong. Boom. Hoo hoo hoo. The endless air current swept out in all directions. The eyes of Luo-en and Bullet were filled with endless fighting spirit. Come again. Bullet roared. The left hand clenched a fist and suddenly blasted towards Luo-en. Luo-en also had a wee look in his eyes immediately, and his left hand immediately changed from his fist to his palm, and he grasped the fist attacked by Bullet. And then take advantage of the trend. Boom. Bullet's body was suddenly thrown out by Luo-en, and then smashed to the ground severely. However, Bullet was not injured at all, and he even jumped up again and still attacked Luo-en. Throw a punch. Luo-en dodged sideways first, then swept out with his right foot. Boom. It kicked Bullet's abdomen hard and kicked Bullet's body directly. Boom. Bullet hit the ground again, but immediately got up again. Very good. Very good. As expected of you. I should have come to you long ago. Luo-en. Bullet's eyes sparkled with excitement. No doubt. Although Luo-en's attacks did not cause Bullet to be injured, he realized that Luo-en is not simple. Boom. Bullet suddenly collapsed under his feet again, and his figure suddenly appeared. Luo-en. He roared in his mouth. The right hand was already clenched and slammed towards Luo-en suddenly. Boom. Luo-en also threw a punch. The fists met again. Kang. There was only the sound of clang-like metal collision. Because the fists of the two have already entangled armament Haki. To know. Both of them used fists, but there was a sound like a weapon. At this time, only seeing Luo-en kicking towards Bullet again, Bullet also kicked with quick eyesight. NS. The feet of the two collided in midair, and it was still no one else. This move was evenly matched. Go to hell. Bullet suddenly opened his big hand and grabbed it towards Luo-en. However, Luo-en narrowed his eyes, directly facing the big hand without retreating, and then holding the belt on Bullet's abdomen with both hands. Ah. Throw directly over the shoulder. Boom. Luo-en's body less than 2 meters high actually threw Bullet over the shoulder to the ground. Boom. A deep hole appeared on the ground. Obviously. In the competition of these physiques, Luo-en had the advantage, and Bullet was beaten by Luo-en's pure use of physiques. At this time, Bullet got up again with a sullen face and looked at Luo-en. Good. Very good. You actually have such strength. Only by killing you like this can I prove my strength even more. Need time. But watching Bullet's body began to be filled with a purple ghost. Luo-en. Do you know why I am called the heir of the devil? That is because. Boom. However, the purple ghost spirit has already filled Bullet's skin, and even the armed color Haki has begun to cover his skin. Luo-en has already noticed it. Bullet seemed to have changed a person, and the aura on his body had become even more violent. Oh ha ha ha. Devil form. Ming ha 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 ha. Luo-en, I am the strongest in this form. The voice fell. Bullet suddenly stepped on it again. Boom. His figure shot directly towards Luo-en. Luo-en immediately narrowed his eyes. Seeing Bullet hit it with a punch, Luo-en also slapped a punch. Boom. Once again swept up a huge air current. What? Bullet roared. Luo-en can clearly feel that his power is stronger than before. Bang bang bang. No matter what kind of attack Luo-en uses, the speed and power of Bullet can completely keep up with Luo-en's attack. Boom. Chang chang. After entering the form of the devil, Bullet has finally changed the state previously suppressed by Luo-en. Zero. Look for flowers. At this time, the confrontation between the two seemed evenly matched, so it seemed that they couldn't distinguish the strong from the weak. No doubt. The strength of Bullet is indeed extremely powerful. The body covered by ghost chi and haki at the same time has greatly improved his strength and speed in all aspects. Boom. The two punched each other. Luo-en kicked Bullet's abdomen again. However, Bullet had already reacted, and his left hand instantly moved down. Boom. Fist and fist. A huge shock wave spread between the two, and Luo-en's kick did not achieve the same effect as before. Ming ha 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 ha. Me in the form of a devil. It's invincible. With Bullet yelled again. The two once again fought fiercely. Boom boom boom. Every fist meets each other. The entire ground seemed to vibrate once, and even the air was shining with violent lightning. Boom. Not far away, Aokiji looked at this scene and couldn't help being surprised. The combination of ghost energy and haki greatly strengthens the strength and speed of the body. Now he looks like a devil from hell. That's why Bullet is called the heir of the devil. The Momoshiki Vice Admiral and other marine soldiers on the warship are also watching the battle between Luo-en and Bullet with binoculars. So scary two guys. So I thought Luo-en was just good at swordsmanship. But I didn't expect Luo-en to have such an accomplishment in physical skills, and it could even be comparable to Bullet. At this time, Momoshiki couldn't help refuting. At the time when Marineford was on the top of the battle, Luo-en was on par with Mr. Garp's Iron Fist. Since the top war, it can be seen that Luo-en's physical skills are definitely not weak. The man Luo-en is not only better than Hawkeye in swordsmanship, but also comparable to Mr. Garp and Bullet in physical skills. It's terribly strong. I heard what Momoshiki Vice Admiral said. Other marine soldiers also commented. Yes, Luo-en this guy, even using the word monster can't describe him. It's horrible.